Hey everybody, sorry I'm a little late. I was waiting for Front of the Country Basement to finish, and somehow I was behind like 10 minutes on them. Um, and then yeah, if I got a false start on that, my video it wasn't showing. Anyways, hey everybody, Josh from Alien 3D, and I am here today with Peter from Wham Bam. I'm gonna make him big and let him do an intro if you don't mind.
Sure. So, hey everybody, Peter from Wham Bam, and for those of you who don't know us, we make those flexible magnetic build surfaces that have become very popular lately. See a lot of friends coming on. Hey Steven, hey guys. I'll give you some background story. I'll let Josh take the show over and answer any questions, however you want to do it, Josh.
All right. So I guess we'll start off with my couple little questions that I ask everybody. How'd you get into 3D printing?
Okay, so my day job is product designer. Been doing it for 30 years. We make award-winning designs. Been designing things from airplanes, buses, trains, office furniture systems, sporting goods, VR headsets, any type of mass-produced product. So I've been around since CAD programs were just starting in the computer, and I was around when the very first 3D printers, the stereolithography machines that cost millions of dollars, came out. So I was in it from the very beginning. As a matter of fact, I pulled something out just to show you guys. This was back in 1999. This cost me about $2,000 to print.
Holy cow!
Photography machine. Stupid little thing, but verifying 3D model we were working on in Pro E, which was difficult at the time. So if you can imagine that right now, making that for about 20 cents, that cost $2,000 back then. So I was involved in 3D printing for my design from the very beginning. Didn't own the machines way back then. They were way too expensive. We used machines that other service providers had. And as the machines, started coming down in price, started to have our own machines. I also ran a lab over at Savannah College of Art and Design with 9 different Stratasys machines. Then another company I worked for as design director had an Object, another Stratasys, some very cool, massive machines. It wasn't until they dropped below the $10,000 range that I started getting my own machines. So I've been in it for quite a long time.
Awesome. How did you get into 3D printing?
I guess it was just a great way of seeing the things that we were designing, verifying them, and seeing them in actuality. Before that, we'd have to cut it out of foam or wood or metal. And it was a lot of work. I mean, it would take quite a long time to take your designs, print out some outlines, basically, make some templates out of them, and then transfer those over to wood or whatever, cut those out and sculpt them. So in order to verify the things we were doing in computer, it was a long process. When 3D printing came out, it was amazing. You could really verify what you were doing in computer and work back and forth.
Yeah, I've been wondering because you talk about the modeling and everything, and I know a lot of car designers, they mold out a new car in clay first and stuff. I wonder if they're going to start using 3D printing more for their testing.
A lot of them started to do it 3D printing and also, of course, CNC milling. And the most important thing was to do the back and forth, where somebody could sculpt something with their hands and then have something read the car in a giant scanner, and then the engineers could make their alterations and they could carve out the clay again. And this gave them a whole back and forth process, which was wonderful. So I've been trying to develop my own processes to streamline my product design firm for a long time. See that there's some comments. Do you want me to go on? Or?
All right, I think my internet's being wonky. You're frozen on my screen, but I bet you're still there.
I can hear you.
Yeah, let me make sure. Oh, we'll just go with it. If I step on you, I apologize.
That's okay.
Actually, I'm gonna restart my modem real quick, so I'm gonna leave you here just a minute. Feel free to talk to everybody, and
Okay.
if you guys have questions, feel free to ask them. I'll be right back.
Okay, so I guess I'll answer some of the questions I see. Chris, how do I get the PEX prints to hold better? Bed temp 70 degrees, prints release constantly. It depends what you're printing in. If you're printing with PLA, that's one of the more difficult ones to get a really good grip on the PEX. It's real satisfying when you get it dialed in. You want to make sure the plate is very clean. You need a lot of first layer squish. That's really the trick for PLA on our PEX. You want it to be squished like 70% smaller than the extruded bead. You want to turn off your part fan until third or fourth layer and print the first layers real slow. If you do all that, you should get a great first layer. It'll grip real well, and it shouldn't release till you drop your temperature. Can you guys hear me? Somebody write a comment if you can hear me. Can anybody hear me? Oh, good. Thank you, Stephen and Kit. See if there's any other questions. And how do I get on live chat, not top chat?
All right. Hopefully,
go.
I'm back.
Josh. Can you hear me, Josh?
Yeah, I can hear you. All right, let's.
I see also there's a comment. Make sure you're on live chat, Peter, not top chat. What's that?
Oh, you don't have to worry about that because you're using the StreamYard chat.
Okay.
But on the YouTube chat, there's like a drop down between live chat and top chat. I don't know what the difference is, but all right. So, did you answer all the questions you already saw?
I answered one question about the PEX, trying to figure out if they were talking about PLA or what other material. I'm also happy to speak a little bit about the differences in our build surfaces, or that might be cutting ahead. Did you have some other questions for me, Josh, before I
No, feel free. Go ahead.
Okay, so here, why don't I pull out some of the materials and I'll show you guys. First of all, for those of you who don't know what our kit is and what comes in our basic FPS flexible build surface system kit, you get one flexi plate, and this is our spring steel flex plate. This is a spring steel that's been unpainted, untreated, because it has a high chromium content and it'll never rust. It's pretty thin. Our whole objective in the system was getting the best performance, but not adding weight to your bed. In case you have a moving bed, like most non-Core XY machines are, if you've got a moving bed, we want to keep that weight down so we can keep down any artifacts and any buzzing and humming because of the heavy weight and the momentum. The other thing in the kit is our own flexible magnet. We developed these real early on when there was no high temperature flexible magnets. Those of you who know, all magnets have a Curie point. Most Curie points are pretty low at like 70 or 80 degrees C. We wanted a flexible magnet that can resist the temperature of at least 130 degrees for printing all filaments. And that was a feat. We got this. We guarantee it to resist 150 degrees constant temperature. We actually tested up to 170 with success. Beyond that, the magnet still didn't fail, but the material became brittle and a little bit gummy as well. So the material failed before the Curie point. The other thing we wanted to do is keep it very thin and light. Of course, with a 3 or 4 millimeter magnet, we could get amazing grip. But we didn't want that. We wanted a 1 millimeter magnet to keep the weight down. So we embedded this with an alternating polarity. array. So we get a really, really strong magnetic grip. Anybody who's used a WHAM band knows it. As soon as you put this down, you can't pull these apart this way. Oh, sorry. I can't pull those apart that way, I swear. The only way to do it is to peel. So we worked on creating a really strong magnet that resists a lot of heat, and we worked on creating a nice flexible flexi plate. And then our next challenge were the build surfaces. We knew we were going to offer PC and PEI, which I'll tell you about in a minute, but we created our own build surface called PEX. And it's from a family of plastics similar to PEI, but it's not PEI at all. And the nice thing is it behaves very much like PEI, but it has a higher temperature resistance, higher melt point than PEI. So it'll react better with the high temp filaments. It takes a little bit more to get the machine dialed in so you get great stick, but once you do, it's one of the best build surfaces. I use it exclusively on all 4 of my FDM printers. I'll bring out the other build surfaces we offer so we could speak about them and the differences. So we do have a PC sheet. This is rather new in our line, kind of like what BuildTech's using, what Crayola uses. Everybody has their own version of a PC build surface. We took a long time to get ours out because we wanted to get the materials just right so you get great stick, but it has a little bit longer durability. The biggest problem with PC is, well, the advantage is it's really easy to print on it. Any beginner could start out printing on it because the material sticks to this like crazy. You don't even need high bed temperatures. The disadvantage is materials tend to fuse with the PC because the PC has a low melt point. So your materials tend to bite into this and they don't want to come off. So anybody with, let's say, the Creality build surfaces know that after a while that thing's just so gummied up you want to throw it away. Hopefully ours is a little better quality and it's going to last a lot longer. PEI, let's see. This is actual Ultem brand PEI imported. We tested a lot of other PEIs that are a lot cheaper, but the PEI we offer is the Ultem. By the way, we only use 3M high temperature adhesives on the back too, so they're made to withstand the heats as well. And the PEI is somewhere in the middle. It's real nice. It's not as sticky as the PC, but it'll resist most high temperature materials. And it sticks very well. You have to get a moderate squish, not excessive squish with PLA to get it to stick. Your biggest problem is with PETG because there is a similarity in the chemical and the mechanical grip that happens with PETG on PEI. And it tends to fuse to the surface. So anybody who's printed with PEI knows that that is always one of the difficulties. Some people use a layer of glue stick to act as sort of a buffer between the PEI and the PETG. So then the last one, our PEX, we created to be better than PEI, better than PC for temperature resistance. But as a result, it's a little bit, oh, here it is. It's a little bit harder to print on or to get that first setup going. Why can't I get this set up nicely? So once you get your machine set up, then the PEX is really, really nice. And parts pop off as soon as they cool down. The PEI, if you're used to printing PEI, we offer that, so you have a go-to. And then the PC is great for all those people who want to print either with no bed heat or for the beginners who just want a sure thing, no dialing in the machine. That's pretty much the overview.
Oops, I was muted. Are there any filaments on any of the surfaces you recommend not using on any of them?
Are there any filaments to not use?
Yeah, to not use on either of the surfaces.
I'd say on the PC surfaces, I wouldn't use the high temp filaments unless you definitely use a glue stick in between because you risk fusing to them. So something like PC and ABS, with the PC sheets, you'd have to be pretty careful with that. With the PEI and PEX, you have no problem. You could do any filament. Some filaments we haven't been able to get to stick without glue stick. So nylon, unless it's loaded with glass or with carbon fiber, it needs some glue stick to stay down in our experience. ABS is amazing. It prints without glue stick, PETG, PC. We've had so many different filaments on the PEX that stick so well.
Yeah, so my experience sometimes too well, but I'm impatient and I pull things off too quick before everything.
Yeah, with the PETG, I don't want to cut you off, but with the PETG, you've got a problem with every build surface. PETG sticks like crazy. If you're using on PEI, you're going to ruin your build surface the same way. PEX does not give you the lifetime guarantee that PETG won't stick. It will stick to it. But what you've got to do is you've got to cool your build surface and your print off, your printed part off very well. Your build surface might be cool, but if that printed part is high mass, it's still retaining.
Right.
So the easiest thing to do is you just take your part off the printer on the flexi plate and just prop it up so the air can get to both sides.
Yeah, that's what I started doing.
Yeah. And then never pry it off. This isn't like the old days where you had to scrape and pry it. Always bend to get the part off. And by bending, you're peeling away the contact between the two pieces. And that's going to ensure that you don't damage your sheet. You know, unfortunately, until you get it down, you run the risk of damaging your sheets. Most of the time, we recommend people in the beginning, if you don't have two of these build plates, at least put one sheet on one side, another sheet on the other side. The back sheet you use to beat up and really dial it in and get to know what limits you can break off your pieces or what you can do to it. It might damage a little bit. The front sheet you use for pristine, perfect prints, you know, and then you'll get the hang of it. Otherwise, you can always get two flexi plates and multiple build surfaces and try it out.
Right.
If you're using our magnet, it's generally strong enough that you could resist. You could have two surfaces on either side, one surface on either side, and it'll hold it down.
Yeah, I generally have the PEX on one side and PC on the other side. And then another system, I had a thicker bed surface. And that's the only time I had a problem with the magnet is because the surface itself was too thick. And I had it flipped over on the thick side, and I had a print slide.
Yeah, of course, magnetic attraction. I mean, it's exponential, the weakness, as you get it further away. You know, if you want a massive magnet and use it as a clamp on a workstation, the way you release it is just by unscrewing it, you know, and raising it up by a fraction of a millimeter, and the strength dissipates very quickly. So we found for the thicknesses of our build surface, we don't have a problem with the magnetic strength weakening. You know, got to be careful if you're using like a thick polypropylene or something.
Yeah. Michael Cassell wants to know if you sell round.
We do. Right now we have 19 sizes up on our website. Let me pull down an image because I don't know how to broadcast one. But can I see? There we go. Those are all the sizes we have right now. The various rounds, some with cutaways, some without. We have a process, and you can go to our website, you can find out all the sizes. We have a process that we started from the very beginning. We get beta testers who are interested in trying out our system on their machines if we don't own that machine. We get feedback 80% of the time. It goes real well, and we just open up the size. 20% of the time we have to make some changes. We take into account various people's comments and criticisms, and we improve the product. And we're constantly doing that. And we've got, like I said, 19 sizes, a couple more coming up, and we've just brought 3 new sizes into production from beta testing.
Awesome. Yeah, it seems like nowadays every printer that comes out has a different size bed on it.
It's kind of
there's like no standard at all.
Yeah. I see a lot of you guys are writing that you've got many Wham Bams or you've been backing us since the Kickstarter. I can't tell you how much we appreciate that. You know, it's great to see the people that I know and see the new people that have been supporting us since the beginning. Everything we do has been very community based. We don't do anything without the community. So thank you all.
Yeah. Carl wants to know if you'll make him a seamless magnetic belt.
You know,
system.
I'd love to talk to you about that. I think feel free to give me send me an email, give me a call. I'd love to find a way to do that. I mean, I'm fascinated by the seamless belts.
Yeah, I think, Carl, aren't you currently doing just a long one and then you've got a seam where it sticks to it? I'm not sure how a seamless magnetic belt would do you any good, though.
That's a big question, because you've got your seamless belt of printing surface material, but the magnet, you're going to put then the flexible metal over the top.
Yeah, that makes no sense, Carl. Explain yourself. All right, now you're going to be at IRF, right?
Yeah, we're real excited about being at IRF. We're going to have a lot of stuff going on at IRF. I don't know how many of you guys are going to be at IRF with us. So just for your information, we are launching a new product line, completely new. We're hoping to bring a lot more. Depends if they're done in time. But we are launching a new product line. On top of that, we're going to be giving away a ton of stuff. We're going to be giving away Wham Bam shirts. We're going to be giving away a couple of our flexible build systems. We're going to be giving away some build surfaces. And then the Sunday of the show, we're actually giving away an Ender 3 Pro with a Wham Bam kit setup.
Nice.
So, yeah, we're going to have raffle tickets. You stop by our booth. We'll have multiple ways to get raffle tickets, and we'll just be giving them away. We're happy to do that and get everybody set up.
Yeah, if I had time, since I'm not going to be able to take either of the printers that I wanted to take now, if I had time, a couple of guys in my UFO group came up with the idea that I should make a claw machine to claw little aliens and then charge like $0.25 per play, and then it's play till you win, and then donate all the money to a charity.
$0.25, charge $25 per play. That'd be fun.
And then, well, they have at Dave and Buster's, they have a play till you win duck claw machine. So I figured play till you win alien.
That's how my kids got all those ducks last time.
Carl, why do you not have a flex plate system for your CR10S Pro? Like, after I got a flex plate, I swore I would never print without one again.
Yeah.
Because it's just way too much of a pain in the butt to get prints off certain surfaces.
Yeah, you're doing 3 crazy things or 4 crazy things. Number one, you're chiseling off on a fine precision machine. You know, you've spent all that time to dial in and get your belts tight and your wheels tight and everything else, and you're chiseling on the machine. That's ridiculous. Number 2, you're risking ruining your part as you're forcing it. And lastly, of course, you risk hurting your hands, which I've done multiple times. And
well, I've sliced my finger down to the bone with a razor blade trying to get a part off.
Yeah, it's scary. When you start getting those discussions, everybody's got a worse heart. Yeah.
Kit, you definitely should. I think the one I ordered was a 310 by 310.
Yeah, we're just doing one for the Voron is the 355 by the 355, by the way. We just finished beta testing. We got some great results, and we're putting that one out. So Voron 2. You might want to measure your bed. If it is the 355 by 355, that's what fits. By the way, all of the sizes on our website are listed by the physical heated bed size, measured edge to edge, X and Y. Most machines that you look on their specs online are telling you the printable area, which is smaller than your heated bed, and that confuse a lot of people. So the Ender 3, I believe they listed as 220 by 220, but the bed is actually 235 by 235. So if you're going to order a flex plate system, you want to measure your bed with a tape measure or ruler. You know, we have both millimeters and inches, but millimeters is generally what we default to. And yeah, we just finished the Voron kit. We've got a 310 by 310 kit.
Yeah, I think Kit is customizing his Voron to a little bit, so his might be a little different.
Oh, cool.
But yeah, it's just like the fail core that I have. I believe its plate is different shape, but I knew the print volume was only 300 by 300, so I just picked up the 310 by 310 WHAM. I don't know what the price difference is. I didn't check into pricing. I was like, hey, I've got a 300 build volume, so I'm going to get a 310 by 310.
Yeah.
But I think I've got like that much of a gap on my printer.
We do have the rail core size now. What is it?
Yeah.
By 340. We actually worked on for the rail core system. Yeah, there you go. 325 by 340.
Yeah.
Those of you who have rail core might have realized that there was some recent issue with the WHAM BAM flexi plate, because the fine folks making the 713 magnetic base changed their magnets. Now, we made our kits to work with our flexi plate and our magnet and our build surfaces, and we can't ever be sure of what other people are doing on their end. When we did beta test the WHAM BAM flexi plate on the rail core with the 713 base, it worked very well. Somewhere along the line, they reduced the strength of the magnets because they were having trouble with their sensors interfering with the magnets, the neodymium magnets they were using. And they lowered the strength of the magnets in the 713. I heard they're about to go back and increase them probably, but I'm not sure. We don't have the problem with sensors being tripped, even though we've got an amazing magnetic grip with our magnetic sheet, because we've got the magnetic strength distributed on a full surface. The full surface is magnetic, and that's what's giving that great grip. When you've got spots of neodymium magnets, each one of those, if they're too strong, will send your sensor off from being in an area with magnet and without magnet. And so they dropped the strength, and because of it, the WHAM BAM flexi plate doesn't hold as well on the current 713. So we recommend, if anybody wants to use WHAM BAM, get our magnet too, put it on the top. It's not hurt by the magnets that are underlying, or buy a bed without magnets and use our magnetic bait.
Who was that rail core through?
What's that?
For what printer was that? The rail core?
Yeah, the rail core.
Is that through Project Red or a different company?
It was Project Red, but it was for it was for all the rail cores. We first made one and we tested with Project Red, and then we put them out for everybody who was a rail core. And somewhere along the line, the guys who were making the 713 base changed the magnets and didn't tell us.
Oh, that's weird. Yeah, because when I got mine, I don't have the magnet, the little round magnets. I have the actual magnet from you.
Yeah,
I don't have the 713 mag plate.
Yeah, if you use our magnet, if you're going to build a rail core yourself, I'd recommend getting the base without the magnets. Use our magnet. You've got a much stronger magnet that doesn't interfere with your sensors at all.
Let's see. Yeah, those who usually watch me know my opinion on my fail core. And I'm not saying all rail cores are bad. I'm not saying all rail cores from Project Red were bad. I'm saying my rail core was bad. And so I've called it, its nickname is now fail core. And it's actually down again. I was printing out a Batman in Pet G for Batman Day, and it clogged. And I'm like, gosh darn it, again? And I hadn't had a clog in like a week and a half, so I was happy. And then I took it all apart, and it wasn't clogged in the hot end this time. It was actually clogged in the extruder. And so there's a piece of plastic from here to here that I cannot get out. I'm going to have to drill it out or something.
Is that a real Bondtech?
Yeah, it's a real... It's a genuine Bondtech. So I don't know how the heck that happened, but I'm not too happy about it. I may replace it with a BMG because they're cheaper. Dubbed out. Dum, dum, dum.
Hey, Timothy from Roswell, were you there for the alien storming?
I wish. If I'd have lived closer, and my girlfriend was giving me heck about it, but if I'd have lived closer, I definitely would have went to it.
That would have been fun.
Carl, I might. I mean, if I end up having to replace it, I might, because as of right now, I don't know how I'm going to get that plastic out of there unless I drill it. Because I'm fairly certain it's all the way from here to here and filling up the entire hole. And I've tried pushing on it with small hex wrenches. I've tried pushing on it with my thick thingamabobbers from Repcord. But yeah, only 150 people showed up. I thought there were more than that.
Oh, it was in Nevada? I thought Area 51 was in Roswell. What's the difference between those two?
Well, Roswell's in New Mexico, and Roswell they had some kind of spaceship thingy too.
Right.
They're famous for, and then there's Area 51 in Nevada, where all the aliens from Roswell are supposedly at.
I was kind of combining the two in my mind.
Yeah, did the people who went under the fence get shot, Michael? Because I know the military was not playing around. Yeah, the next gen project for the Air Force that they're stealing from the UFOs that they have. Yeah, kid, if I used a blowtorch on this thing, it would actually melt the Vontex, so that ain't happening. So Chris Galata says he needs a 500 millimeter flex plate. Are you going to provide a discount code tonight? I actually did not discuss that with Peter prior to the show.
Yeah, we have a 510 by 510. It's for the CR10S Pro 5 or CR10S5. That's the 510 by 510. We didn't set up a discount code for tonight, but I'll tell you what, I'll have one created and pass it to Chris to share with everybody who is here tonight. How's that?
All right, I'll tweet it out later.
Okay.
If you actually think about the physics behind it, it's near impossible for any aliens to have ever made it to Earth. I disagree, Sean. I'm right here. Hey, baby girl, about time you showed up.
I'm going to try to write to get that discount code while we're talking.
Oh, yeah. I'll do that. That's a good idea, Kit. That way it's not getting blasted to everybody on the Twitterverse. If everybody goes and visits my Twitter page /alienslacker, there's a link to my Discord. And everybody who joins my Discord, I'll put the discount code for the WHAM. That way people who are not in the chat don't get the benefit.
That's great. I'll leave the code active for 4 days so everybody can get their orders in. Hopefully I'll have it before this is over. We'll see. Melinda, my partner in the company, chief marketing officer, and she does all the discount codes. She's not in on the call today, so hopefully she hears this and we'll be able to make one up.
Melinda's slacking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure she's watching. I don't see her logged in, but yeah.
So what kind of projects are you working on? Do you do a lot of technical prints, or do you do fun prints?
For you talking to me?
Yeah, you.
For my for WHAM, or for the?
Well, just in general. How much do you print? Oh, there she is. Hey, Melinda.
Hey, Melinda, do you mind setting up that discount code for Josh's viewers tonight, please? I was just writing to you, and it's a lot easier to talk. By the way, let me give you some information on Wham Bam and who we are, so everybody knows. You know, it started just over a year ago officially. Officially, we opened up in July last year with a company name, company registration, and all that. Even though it started probably 2 years ago, and it originally started because I came up with, to me, the perfect flexible build surface. I've been working so long on trying to get something for my own printers. And I approached one of my partners in Taiwan for all of my product design firm stuff, anything that gets made in Asia. He helps me to coordinate with our factories, with QA, QC, to make sure that it's produced to the highest level that we would expect in America and Europe, not just in Chinese level. So we decided to open up a firm together. And so he was my first partner, and then Melinda was the second partner. She came in shortly after that and does all of the marketing and sales and promotion. So most of you guys who get social media from Wham Bam or any communication, that's from Melinda. I've recently started responding only to the technical emails, so I can give more technical stuff. So that's our group. One Taiwanese, 2 US. All of our stuff is designed here in Florida, most of it right here in my lab. It's then produced in China within our own production facilities. We don't buy third-party stuff that others make and rebrand it and sell the crap to other people. We actually make our own materials, so it's high performance and very innovative. And for Wham Bam, just for everybody's info, we are not a build surface company. We're actually 3D print innovation company. So we've been working the last year on a lot of new innovations. And as they're ready for mass production, we're going to be announcing them. And we're going to be going to Earth with one, hopefully to the Maker Faire Orlando with something else. And they'll be coming out continually. Oh, there we go. Melinda just published it. Thank you, Melinda. Everybody
Thank you, Melinda.
That's only for the viewers of Alien After Dark. And so don't spread that around, guys.
You got 4 days. 4 days. Get your orders in now.
That's great. Anyway, you were asking, what do I 3D? I 3D print everything. Why don't I show you guys some of the stuff? So sometimes we need to 3D print things that aesthetically we check the shot size and shape. A lot of times it's to test ergonomically. So we were working on a VR headset for military, and we needed a headgear that could crank down around anybody's head size. We actually had to test this with, at first it was for military. So let me get this. Sorry, I'm not good with this mirror. We had to test for all different head sizes for military. So adults, medium to extra large. And then all of a sudden our client said, hey, Universal and Disney both want to use our VR headsets for their theme parks. So we had to make it for kids too. So all of a sudden we had to be able to make a headset that would crank down to very small sizes and then go to very large size and be comfortable for all. So there was a lot of 3D printing, testing.
Wow, that's pretty cool.
Stopping people on the streets. Let me show you one other. This is for NFL. So the company that we were working with, our client is called Serious Simulations, and they had a client that is doing VR simulation training for NFL players. So this puts the quarterback with a VR headset on his helmet, and he could run through any play that the coaches want to guide him through. They don't need real players. It's all in VR, and it's super believable. And this is the actual piece that gets mounted to the helmet, and it would flip up and flip down, and it moves in and out for the IPD adjustment. This is a very rough hack model. Of course, the final beautiful ones the clients always have, but
right. That's prototype.
So yeah. So over here, we print everything for our clients just to see, look and feel. Sometimes, let me grab some of this stuff. Sometimes this was a cradle for a cell phone stand. So just trying to see if the size and the function works. So it would actually be a steel ball here. I'll show you the production one. It's exactly like this. Another one made with carbon fiber reinforced EC. So let me grab.
Now this, I've known Peter since a little bit before Orlando Maker Fair last year.
Yeah.
And so this is all new information to me too.
Yeah. So that one that you just saw, here is the production model. And you got a cell phone case with a magnet, and it goes onto that. And then you could use this to your car windshield, to your bathroom mirror, anywhere you want. You just put it up, and you can watch your phone and interface it while you're driving at the bathroom. You can put it on.
I need one of those so bad because, like, I have this grip thing.
Oh yeah, those.
And it doesn't fit my case in anything. So now my phone is out of the case. And the other day I cracked it, and I had to have them come out and fix it. And
yeah,
I want one of those. Where do I get it?
That one's, the company's called Me, the Unity case, and there's a whole line of products I did for them. It's kind of neat. So yeah, I partly do stuff for my clients, partly for WHAM, partly for fun. Print a lot of stuff for my kids all the time. They always, every time I come home, my kids say, "What do you 3D print us for? What did you 3D print for us today?" Your friends, do any of their other fathers 3D print anything? Why are you guys so because anytime I have anything I want to print, I print for them. And then I also have a few things I've got on an Etsy shop that so I'm constantly printing and putting them up there just to see what goes, you know.
You should put a presentation on at your kids' schools about 3D printing, and then that kids can bug their parents about getting into it. And
yeah, I've kind of told their teachers a few times, "Hey, I can do this. You guys want to see? You know, you want to come to the lab?" And I don't think the teachers get it all that often. I made even like one Halloween. I made Halloween stencils, so two-dimensional, you know, 3D printed stuff, but that they could draw pumpkins and ghosts and stuff. And
right. I know I've got a couple subscribers to the UFO box there that are teachers, and like Alkesh one, I don't know if he's here tonight, but he I think he's up to 11 printers at his school.
Yeah.
And I think it's a middle school or an elementary school. I think middle school though. But the school has 11 3D printers, which I thought was really awesome.
It's such an amazing moment we're in where printers are cheap enough that schools can self-fund these things. You know, it could teach children that they could actually make something and see it. We need some simple software that they could use. So far, I haven't seen anything that simple. Maybe Tinkercad, you know. But there has to be some really good tie-in between software and hardware and make it simple for them.
Right. But kids these days know they grow up with iPads in their hands and stuff like that. And so by the time they get to school, they already know how to push the buttons and play with 3D printing stuff, or 3D designs and stuff. So you'd think nowadays kids in elementary school would probably don't call Tinkercad simple. Yeah, I don't like Tinkercad. After using more complicated CAD software and then going to Tinkercad, I couldn't figure it out.
I mean, for a lot of people, I guess it makes sense. If you didn't start with a real CAD background, it's pretty friendly. It's pretty user-friendly, and it could do a lot. I'm a SolidWorks user, unfortunately. I mean, I need something that I could pass to my clients who are manufacturers, so we're real SolidWorks, but I love Fusion 360 as well.
SolidWorks, though, that's like a $10,000 program, isn't it?
Ridiculously expensive, and the company is just bastards. They keep on making things less accessible. They used to have one license was good for 2 computers. Now it's only good for 1. They don't allow you to do, you can't transfer a file that was made in the 2018 to a 2015 program, or even the inverse. So they really try to get you to spend a lot of money. I'm not loyal to SolidWorks because of their customer service or the cost, but just because it's the best program for my field right now.
I know. I'm gonna have to ask Corey from Liquid Dirt. He is always telling me about this CAD program that he tells me is the best thing since sliced bread, and I cannot ever remember the name of it.
I guess it also depends if you're working in real organic forms or real mechanical forms. No, I think Rhino is a lot of fun for organic forms and for fast sketching. Fusion 360 is becoming real popular, and they're doing a great job of getting it out there. And it's somewhere of a cross between Rhino and SolidWorks.
Yeah, Timothy, Blender is free. However, it's more geared towards non-technical modeling, in my opinion. It's not a true like CAD software when you need technical specs and measurements and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I do use Blender for my silly stuff, like the ugliest piglet ever modeled. But
have you tried ZBrush for the freeform stuff? I'd love to do ZBrush.
I got the trial, but by the time I actually had time to try it out, my trial had expired. And it's like $50 a month for the subscription, or like $1,200 total, and it's beyond my budget. I'd rather buy a new printer than spend $1,200 on a program.
I figure out why these software companies are so greedy. If they just made pricing more reasonable, they could get an audience that wasn't even there 5 years ago. You know,
exactly.
3D printers right now need to be able to create their own stuff. Make cheap but effective software, and you'll sell 10 times the amount of what you were selling before.
And I bet you that's what the huge hole. I mean, you take. I know some of y'all have a problem with the software I'm about to name. However, Simplify 3D. When I first bought it, it was like $150, and now they're switching to a new thing. You got to rebuy it. Any other software company, they're kind of like that. They're like, once you buy one version, you don't get free upgrades to every major version. And then you get the companies that go the subscription model. And like, I've been using Adobe products for at least 10 years, and I've paid them anywhere between $30 and $50 a month for the last 10 years. By now, I should own that software.
Yeah.
But the second I cancel my subscription, I lose access to all of it, which is
I've got it on 6 of my computers. These guys, it's crazy. I'd rather own the software than have these subscription services.
Exactly. But yeah, if you get all these people that are trying to get into 3D printing and designing their own prints and everything, and that's one thing I like about Fusion 360. If you're a guy or female, I apologize, I'm just saying guy because I'm a guy. If you're a person at home just messing around with modeling, it's free if you don't make over $100,000 a year, which I think is great because it gets into more people's hands. And if people can start designing things and then maybe selling them on Etsy or selling them everywhere else, they can form their own business to where one day they're making that $100,000 a year. And if more companies would approach that model to where the smaller guys don't have to pay millions of dollars to be able to use something,
yeah, exactly,
they'd get it out there more, and more people would use it, and in the long run, they'd make more money.
Yeah, they've got to understand that the small guy could either start a startup that eventually is successful, then they want to buy the full suite. Small guy maybe works at a big firm. He gets used to using that software, and he recommends it to the whole firm. these software companies are so much based on the old, AutoCAD and Pro E and the very expensive platforms. And SolidWorks is just like that. And SolidWorks brags thinking they've got a low cost, but their cost is huge. It's just huge.
Yeah, Chris, it's $50 a month for everything, which is, I think I'm on a deal for right now for the next year or whatever. It's only $30 a month for everything for me. But I've been paying that $50 a month for the last 10 years. That's a lot of money. I should be able to own those programs by now.
Yeah, mine's for like $250 because I got it on 6 computers and I've got a couple of add-ons. So it's crazy.
It's stupid. And the reason I've been doing it is because, as some of you know, I'm a web developer, so I always have to use Photoshop and After Effects, and I've used Premiere and Illustrator. All 4 of those programs I've used the majority of my career as a web developer. It's stupid. Anywho. Yeah. So does anybody else have any more questions for Peter? I'm kind of super interested in your other company, like the.
I can show you some of the things we do besides that. I mean, I don't want to deviate.
Hey, tonight it's your show. I mean, you do whatever you want.
This is one of my favorite products that I designed. You can see the chassis of it out back there, but
yeah,
the world's first all carbon fiber guitar.
Dang.
And super thin. I mean, you can see it's no heel if you know about guitar.
And is that completely 3D printed, or?
This is carbon fiber in industrial processes, half of which we created. When we first made it, I made it out of foam and hand sculpted, and then eventually this was done in Solid Thinking, an Italian program for the surfacing. And then we did some 3D prints, and then we 3D printed the plugs that we used to make the carbon fiber molds for the first ones. But yeah, that's one of the pieces. Won a lot of incredible awards, been published in a lot of magazines. I was backstage with the Black Eyed Peas, hanging out with David Bowie's guitarist Earl Slick. A lot of great guitarists have used this. Hung out with them. I've had a chance to see that whole world. It's pretty cool.
That is awesome. I got a question, and you probably know, and it's my own ignorance. Why does all carbon fiber have that same pattern?
It doesn't really have this. There's a lot of different patterns, actually, but they're similar.
Yeah, they all kind of look alike.
Yeah, carbon fiber, I mean, it's basically produced as a long thread, right? It's actually a little bit brittle as a thread. It's a very, very thin, long thread of material, like an extruded piece of filament. And that gets all woven together into a fabric. And that fabric itself is not extremely strong. It feels like a fabric, like a t-shirt fabric. It's only impregnated with resin that all of a sudden it gains this incredible strength to weight properties. And the whole trick is having as little resin as possible to wet the carbon fiber completely. Extra resin makes it brittle and heavy. Too little resin and you don't get the full strength. So there's a lot of different science behind there.
That's interesting. That's cool.
I see Robert says you must play some then. I used to play when I was younger. I'm a bad guitarist. I've hung out with amazing guitarists at different trade shows and different events, and I've been invited backstage, and they all say, "Get on and jam with me." It's the most embarrassing thing. So I say, "No, I don't play. I'm sorry. I'll let our endorsers that play for us play." Yeah. But when we went through this, like every one of our pieces of design, we go through a lot of user research. We look at where the pain points are, where the difficulties are, where we can make some improvements, and then that guides the design. And that's the same thing with WHAM Band. we started out with a problem and we said, how are we going to resolve this like nobody else has done? How are we going to do this in an innovative way? And I use the same process that I do for my product design students. And not to sound like a cocky bastard, but we've won 20 international design awards with my design firm.
Holy cow.
We've been published in thousands of publications, dozens of books have chapters on my work. So when we decided to do WHAM, BAM, we took it really seriously. We said, we're going to do a company that's only making real innovative products to help the 3D printing community. And we did it right at the moment that there was the boom of the cheap but very good Chinese printers. And we said, we have to make something easy enough for the beginner to install without a problem, but productive enough that it helps the print farmer. So every product we're doing is with that thought in mind. And you'll be seeing a lot of new products from us soon.
Yeah, I was just about to say, you talk about how you want to bring innovation into 3D printing for the little guy that's not going to cost a lot, and the newbie printers and stuff. Are there anything? I know they're top secret. You're bringing stuff to Earth. Is there anything you're allowed to talk about tonight?
I don't want to give too much away because most of the stuff we're doing, people are going to copy like they did our stuff, and then nobody gives us credit, and that's a shame. So we want to be the first ones. But I will tell you that we are working in both markets right now, resin and FDM. I actually bought 2 resin printers. I wish I could bring this computer. I should have done this on a laptop, so I'll bring it into the lab. I bought 2 resin printers a while ago because I said it's time that we get into both areas. So we'll be doing innovation for both areas and more. We'll be doing upgrades for machines like we're doing now. We'll also be doing standalone products that help with post-production. And yeah, unfortunately, there's not much I can say at this moment.
No, I completely understand.
Yeah.
Especially when people quickly copy what you're doing. So no, I get it.
Yeah. We've got one product which we patented. Excuse me. Have applied for a patent. And that's going to really be pretty darn revolutionary in the market. And we can't wait to put that one out. That's really been top secret. And hopefully in about 2 months, that'll be ready for sale. Most of the others, we are not able to patent. We just have to say stuff like the flexible build system. We weren't able to patent it. Too many people were working on their own variation. We came up with our custom formulation, which we believe to be the best. And I think it's proven to be that way. Now everybody and their mother is making a flexible magnetic sheet. Whether it's of our quality or not is a big question. Most of them are using a flexi plate with chromium and not painting it. Most of them are using PEI or another substrate. So that formula seems to have been the right one, the right choice. So we want to stay ahead of the crowd. The biggest challenge we have is that the cheap companies can put out these products so cheaply, and the machines are so cheap.
Right.
It's difficult to ask people to spend the amount of money that needs to be spent for a quality product. If you ask them an upgrade for an Ender 3 and it costs $200, and they go, I spent $260 on the machine, it's almost difficult to justify that. It's okay for a Railcore or Lulzbot or something that's a few thousand.
Well, it's like and I don't know what you're gonna sell, so I apologize. Steps on your toes. But like 3D Fused, for example, they sell rail kits for the Ender products. And some of those kits are fairly expensive, $80, $90. I think I saw one for like $100 and some odd. And then people will be like, well, I only spent $200 for this printer. But it ups the quality of your prints by a lot.
You've got this fine balance. I mean, you've got that group of people who are willing to spend that money to have a great machine. They love also the DIY and starting off cheap and making it better and better.
The true tinkerers, yeah.
We just have to be careful as a company not to create something only for a small niche. We need to be able to sell to the masses to justify our investments, because we make molds, we make tools. So yeah, we have to make sure the price is right from the beginning. We're never going to be the cheapest, but we don't want to be the most expensive either.
Now, Carl brings up something, and I think it's kind of funny, and he's just poking fun at you. But why wham, bam, thank you, ma'am? Why Wham Bam as your company name?
You know, 2 years ago, I went home to my wife and I said, that's it. I'm doing a company. I'm opening a company around 3D printing. She knew that I've been contributing to the 3D printing community. I've got stuff up on Thingiverse. I've been commenting on all the forums for so long. I've been helping people. I've also taught classes at universities. She knew this. And when I said, I'm going to open a company in 3D printing, she goes, what? I go, yep. And it's going to be called Wham Bam. And she started laughing and said, you're crazy. I said, no, it's this whole idea of wham bam, it's done. You know, it was reducing the time that it took to get your print off of the machine and get back into printing. And that speed and quickness. When we first came up with the idea, I don't think there wasn't anybody really doing the same thing. And, you know, that slowly, it took us too long to get off the ground. And BuildTech had their version, and was there anybody else? BuildTech had the first version, and then Prusa started coming out with theirs at the same time. But for us, the idea of getting something off the build surface so fast and getting back to printing so fast just gave me the idea for the name, and it sounded so right. And the thank you, ma'am, of course, was a tribute to David Bowie. If you're going to say wham bam, it's natural to say thank you, ma'am, isn't it?
Right. Robert Marvin asks, on a business note, how do you feel the tariff situation? Will it affect the business?
I hate to get into that. Yeah, it affects everything. Unfortunately, we can't do anything about the fact that products are produced in Asia. I mean, right now, I'd love to produce everything in America, but it costs too much for the common person to be spending for those products. And many American manufacturers are still producing parts in Asia in order to bring the prices down. And those tariffs are just affecting us everywhere. We've been trying to hold our prices steady. We'd like to drop them, but it's nearly impossible.
Right. I saw another question. Where'd it go?
I see, Robert.
Is it possible? Yeah, is it possible to do a powder-coated PEX?
No, it's not. And I think that he's talking about a powder-coated spring steel sheet with PEX instead of PEI.
Right.
Yeah. We experimented with powder-coated PEI around the same time that Prusa was. It's pretty funny. When they made the announcement, we're like, damn, that's what we've been working on. We had such a hard time to get the same stick with a powder-coated spray than we did from rollers on a film. And Prusa struggled with the adhesion as well. By powder coating it and cooking in an oven, it creates this really sealed top layer, and it's not as attractive to the filament as an open-celled one. By making a rolled product, we go through big rollers after the product is extruded. We're able to put a surface on that's pretty easy to open up with a little steel wool that we give with it, and we get a much better adhesion. So we are not going to make a powder-coated one. Some people have asked us, what they're really asking is it possible to make a textured surface? And that is possible. We actually offer that on our PC surfaces. You guys could see the nice texture. Can you see it? Let's see if I can show it.
It's hard to see on camera.
It's hard to see on camera. But that is a texture. We decided against it on our PEX and our PEI. And the reason why is if you're going to use steel wool between prints, it's taking away microns. You know, it's just opening the pores and trying to get rid of the residue from the filament before that. We advise using a quick 10-second swipe of steel wool and alcohol. But eventually, over time, you're going to wear down the area that you most frequently are rubbing that steel wool. So if you have a smooth surface, you really don't notice that over time. If you have a textured surface, you're going to have a textured surface on the outside and smooth surface on the inside. So you're programming in early obsolescence, which we don't want. We want our products to last as long as possible. So we abandoned the idea of doing textured for now. Sorry about that for all those that want a texture.
Justin wants to know, he tore his while he was printing too close, and he wants to know, is there any way to fix a PEX sheet?
There's no fix if it's got a hole in it, but you can remove any raised areas. Sometimes people with the hot end, when it's really hot, they drive it into the PEX. And that will create a channel, but it'll also put some material outside of it. So what I suggest is taking some sandpaper on a wooden block, going over it, starting with like a 320 or a 280, then going down to 320, then to 400, go down until it's fine enough, and then use your steel wool. And you'll basically remove the raised areas, and you only have some deeper areas, and hopefully you can print around it. Worst case scenario, get another PX sheet, put it on the bottom side, and use the top side, like I said, to experiment with, and the bottom side for your pristine prints. Yes, Stephen, I see, is saying there is a company making Prusa style texture. Yeah, they're spray painting their sheets with PEI, and baking it in a kiln, and they're basically going with the Prusa style. And there are the people who are going to want those. We are not doing it. The other reason that we didn't do it, if you get a scratch in that surface, you're going to get rust on your spring steel. We purposely chose a spring steel with high chromium content. We don't need to paint it. We don't add weight. We don't add intolerances. Paint has a variation. We have a precision product and lightweight. So we're real happy with our formula.
Yeah, I would think if you ruined a powder coated sheet that it would be more expensive to replace than just like a PEX sheet, which I as my viewers know, I ruin every part of a printer that's possible to ruin, and my first build plates of every single brand I've ever used, I always have destroyed them.
Yeah.
And I tell you what, taking off the PEX sheet off the spring steel took me forever, and I used every chemical I could possibly use. I probably should have used gloves. That thing was a huge pain in the butt to get off.
Yeah, we're working with 3M to try to get some new glues that are less difficult, but it's a pain in the rear.
It is.
The good thing is it is possible. So if you had a powder painted sheet, you can't change that. And you're also forcing your customers to buy the sheet with that surface. The reason why we leave them separate is you could use our spring steel with PC, with PEI, with PEX, and we're developing some other build surfaces in the future. It leaves more choice.
Right. Yeah, I think what I ended up doing after using about 7 different chemicals to try to loosen it up, I just let it soak in boiling hot water for about 15 minutes, and then I took a putty knife and I finally got it underneath the corner, and I took a putty knife underneath the whole thing slowly until I finally got it off, and then it was just the goop that was left behind that I had to get off, and I used Goop Be Gone.
Yeah. So I've heard a few different things. Some people say put it in the freezer first, and you can get the PEX off pretty quickly. If you put it in the freezer first, it freezes the glue. Then you've got the hassle of getting the glue off. And I haven't tried it yet, but a lot of people swear by WD-40.
I tried that. It didn't work that well.
Yeah, I use acetone, but it's a lot of work.
Well, I tried acetone. I tried WD-40. And I like soaked it in WD-40, and then I covered it with a rag, and then I soaked the rag, and then I let it sit for an hour, and I came back, and that stuff was stupid hard to get off.
It's tough. We're working with 3M. I mean, we've got 2 issues. We've got the issue that you want something that's going to stay down on your build surface, even under high heat and high duress, and that has to flex with your flexi plate. So you want it to stay down, and then the other thing you want is you want it to be able to come up when it's time to pull it up, and that's the tough part. Yeah.
Let's see. Lemonine. I have not worked with Lemonine yet. I need to, though, because the dissolvable spools that I'm trying to get out will be Lemonine dissolvable.
Is that for dissolvable supports?
What's that?
Is that for dissolvable supports?
Well, what I'm trying to use or come up with a better way to serve three purposes. One, make my sample spooling faster when I'm doing samples for the UFOs. Two, make it to where when somebody gets a sample, they're not having to deal with possible either broken samples or um, having a brain fart here. People help me out. Tangled. There we go. Tangled samples. And then, so if I provide a spool and put every sample on a spool, then I've got to solve the problem of, okay, are people going to throw them away? Is it going to end up in landfill? If it's recyclable, are people actually going to recycle it? Or if I make it dissolvable, would people either A, take it to a recycle plant, because HIPS is recyclable at like 65% of recycle plants, and or B, would they dissolve it? And then there's also the option of cardboard spools, which I've been trying to solve. This is a whole problem I've been trying to solve for the last 16 months since I started doing the UFOs. But if I use HIPS, it'll cost me about 50 cents a roll or a spool, which is acceptable expense to me. And it would be dissolvable, but HIPS is dissolvable in limonene.
Really?
And so, yeah. And
what does it produce when it's dissolved?
what's that?
What is the end product of the dissolved ooze?
Well, no, this I'm gonna make 3D printed spools, so that I can put my sample.
When you dissolve with
After you dissolve it,
that gunk, is it something that's safe for the environment, or is it just much?
I believe it is. I believe it's environmental friendly. I will have to double check, but I'm pretty sure it just dissolves into like a complete liquid, that there's not like muck. I'm sure if there's enough of it, you're gonna have muck left over. But I know limonene is deprived from lemons and oranges or something like that.
I have some pretty cool plastics where I got them in the development stage about 10 years ago by a company in Hong Kong. They stay nice and rigid. They feel beautiful until you bury them under the ground. It's the absence of oxygen that makes them dissolve and disintegrate, and they return to natural minerals.
Wow.
Yeah.
That would be cool.
That'd be really cool. Especially, I mean, maybe for small sample spools, it's not worth the investment, but to do it for
right
future spools, I'm sure the community would love that.
Yeah, that's definitely something that would be more landfill friendly.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's been a 16-month problem. I tried making my own spools out of cardboard, but the time it takes to cut them all and then get them right and then glue them all together and then wait for the glue to dry, and it was driving me nuts. And then my laser cutter that was cutting the flangs decided to stop working. I'm sure if I had an industrial laser cutter, it would probably take like 2 seconds to make 1,000 of them, but I don't have that kind of money.
You know, if you're going to do cardboard and you have a product that you're going to repeat all the time, then you can just do a die cut. Have somebody cutting these things out with die cuts. The die cuts are cheap as heck to make. They're like giant cookie cutters.
Yeah. I've heard that too. But like any company I've contacted that makes custom spools, they wanted anywhere between $2 and $4 per spool. And I'm like, that adds anywhere between $8 to $16 in costs to my UFOs. I'm like, I can't do that.
I'm sure that the design that you were going to do on your laser cutter, you could send out to have a die cut, and it would cost you next to nothing.
But how much does a die cut machine cost?
The machine itself is a press. The die cut looks like a giant cookie cutter. They've put these metal blades to the shape you want inside of an MDF board, and they use that to press down on the cardboard, and that basically cuts out the cardboard like a cookie cutter. And to extract it from the inside of the die, they just use a piece of sponge. So it pushes the piece out after it's done. So the die to make like a disc or something would cost you $100, you know, and you just send it to a company that will cut them out of the cardboard for you. You don't need the press.
I'll have to look into that.
Yeah.
Because if I can find a company that'll do the pressing for me, that's cheap enough. Because my 50 cents per spool is my absolute limit. If it goes 51 cents, I'm like, I'm out. Just because I have a limited budget every month, and like this month I went over it because of actually the last 2 months I kind of went over it. But yeah, I'll figure it out one day. Because like even if I have those people, if I have a company die cut all the flangs for me, I've still got to figure out the cores, and how to do the cores. And you can get tubing fairly cheap, but then you have to take the time to cut it yourself. And then I also have the problem of taking the time of gluing the cores to the flangs, which takes a lot of time as well. And you know, time is money. So it's got to be a quick process.
I'm wondering if there's a way to make a flat cut piece of cardboard that you roll up and it makes a spool. Not even buying this core as a separate piece. It's the core and the flanges. And unfold it, it's flat, you roll it, a 2 pieces of tape, you hold it steady.
And it's a core.
I'll work on it.
That's an interesting idea.
Might be a good challenge to send out there to the.
Well, I had somebody make one that it was kind of like the squiggle, and then it rolled up onto itself, and then it had clips that would clip onto the flangs, and it was too flimsy in the middle. So when I made a sample, it just squished the core. And then
I see a comment from Robert asking if I have a chemist training, what's my background. I studied industrial design in the 80s, and then I got a master in industrial design in the 90s in Italy, 80s in New York, then I moved out to Italy. But I've always been a tinkerer. I've always been building and experimenting. So I learn as I go. Yeah, don't really have a chemist background, but I've always been fascinated.
With slots, you don't have to glue it. Yeah, but I don't know. You know how great those Burger King crowns hold together. I don't know. I'll figure it out one day. I've had numerous people say, I'm going to work on this, and then they end up not being able to figure it out, and then they just quit talking to me about it. They move on to other things.
Hey, Josh, how do I check out for a minute? I'll be back in 5 minutes.
Okay, I'll take you out of the green room, or take you off there.
I'll be back in a couple minutes.
All right. Robert, you're a new maker? How new to making are you? I'm a believer that everybody who is a maker has always been a maker. It's just that point you get to where you finally decide to make something. And then there's different levels of makers. You have the makers that do one thing and they stick to that one thing. And then you get the makers who dabble in numerous things in making. Like, I consider myself to be a dabbler. 3D printing has probably been the most excessive part of dabbling I've ever dabbled in. But I craft things. I laser cut when I have a laser cutter. I've painted. Hi, Princess Emmy. I love you. Mwah. Emmy is the cutest. I hope you're being a good girl for Mama. Mama said you were being sassy. A Mario model for your grandson? That's awesome. And Julie Jolly, I think I saw her say hi earlier. She posted today the project from the UFO last month. Was a hydraulic arm, and she showed her son playing with it. That was really cool. She's still being sassy. Oh, my cookies. Yeah, July was, I think, my 18th month since I had a printer, so it's my 20th month of having a printer. And sad to say that my first printer has been disassembled and now lives as my sample spool creator. Though I don't know if RC, I don't think I've seen him show up tonight yet, but RC's working on something for me to help me automate. She stuck her tongue out at me. Well, stick my tongue out at you. But I need to automate the system, and I was on Alibaba. Am I going to start cranking out samples soon? Yes, I am going to start cranking out samples tomorrow, actually. And it's kind of late in the month, but hey, RC, there you are. But this sample spooler did actually help me like create the actual samples faster as far as the bagging and the labeling. It's probably still as slow as my old method. But it knocks the samples out. But the accessory for this month, I don't think I'm going to get it by the 1st of September. So my goal is to get them in and get the UFOs out by the end of the first week of September. Or I'm sorry, October. Because the accessory is just taking longer to get it out. Yeah, I'm in October. I'm sorry. Partially my fault. But yeah, samples I'm going to start cranking out tomorrow, and then I'll have them bagged and sampled before the 1st of October. The boxes, the UFO boxes, are getting here on Monday. Oh, I see Peter's back. Peter, you're back in. The boxes are getting here on Monday, so I'll assemble them, and then I'll get the project parts and the samples and the swag and the country 3D beard kits. I'll get them all packed, and then as soon as the accessory arrives, I have a list of everybody's sizes that I then have to match with the labels. So packing the UFOs this month is going to be a little slower than usual due to sizing matchups. But yeah, might be a little late. I think it'll be worth the wait, though. I think everybody will like it. And Peter, actually, thank you for signing up for my projects box.
Absolutely. Looking forward to it.
Sizes for what? Sizes for your accessory. That's all I'm gonna say. You're all getting alien costumes. All right, there's the spoiler. You're all getting alien costumes. I don't know if Carl from Neck 3D is still here, but if you guys are not following Carl on Twitter, that uh oh, Carl, you've got competition for your dragon now. But yeah, so I don't know if you guys are following Carl on the Twitter, but there is a new T-shirt design out that has to go with the Knights War Red filament. That if you guys order it, you will get, and you bring it to Earth, you wear it to Earth, then you'll get 10% off the Wars Red filament purchase.
Hey, Wham Bam's having a similar thing, by the way. Don't want to steal the stage, but you wear your Wham Bam T-shirt and you're getting a really high discount. I don't remember what it is. Maybe Melinda will chime in. Real high discount on anything you want to buy there at Earth.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah.
You guys have a Wham Bam T-shirt? Take it to Earth. And you can just like change out, wear multiple layers of shirts.
Yeah.
And just.
I'll tell you what, wear one right over aliens. Or under.
Be like, okay, where's my Wham shirt? Oh, there it is. Woo!
Wear one day, the other day.
Babe, ask Emmy if she wants the red dragon or the green dragon, because I have the green dragon still, and she said that one was hers. And she's also getting the big Godzilla is currently guarding the fail core. Sean, what do you mean you can't make Earth? You just told me the day before yesterday. You can't make Earth.
Sorry.
No, you're good. Sean has told me like 4 different times he's coming to Earth. And now he's not coming. My heart's broken, Sean. Wow, first 10 people who visit Earth, their table at Earth, gets 50% off at WHAM. Nice.
Yeah. We're really trying to do a lot of promotions at Earth. Thank you, Melinda.
I gotta bring my Wham Bam shirt, my Never Let the Machines Win shirt, my White Knight shirt, my Mosquito shirt, my Country 3D shirt. I'm gonna have to change shirts every other hour.
I gotta get one of your hats.
Yeah, I haven't been selling any on my website. So I started giving them away as birthday gifts in the UFOs. You gave up on your E16, so you ordered a new printer. Oh, Sean, that sucks. I can leave the mosquito one home? Why would I leave the mosquito one home? It's not the mosquito's fault that my rail core was being a butt. Yeah, but Sean, you're not a subscriber. You purchased by the month, so you wouldn't have got one anyway. No, I still think the mosquito is a good product, and Dan is one of my friends, and so I'm definitely going to support him, whether I have problems or not. Like, literally every product that has to do with 3D printing that I've ever had, I've always had problems with everything. It's like I'm the poster child for alpha and beta testing products. If you send a product to me, I will figure out a way to break it and tell you about it.
Yeah,
Every
I don't know if any of you guys ever owned those $90,000 Stratasys machines or ran them. But way back then, if there was a problem, you had a technician who would fly out to you and spend 2 or 3 days setting up that machine and testing it. And all of a sudden, these machines are accessible and cheap, but the problems are still there. We all need to learn how to work around them. You know, there's no single solution. Every machine's going to jam, unfortunately. You know, every hot end. Everybody's getting a little better as they go along.
Now, Sean, your Micro Swiss all metal hot ends. What speed do you print at? Do you print PLA?
I had so much problems with retractions on Micro Swiss that I gave up. I'd like to get back into it.
See, that's the one thing. I think it's a problem with all hot metal on hot ends, is you need the retraction for your printing settings to get nice clean prints. But with an all metal hot end, you can't retract too much or it jams.
Yep.
And so you reduce your retraction, and then you start getting stringing or blobbing or whatever it is that retraction solves. And then people are like, well, lower the temperature, raise the temperature, do backflips, cross your fingers, cross your toes, stand on your head, something it'll work. And it just, nothing ever works. And I was really, really surprised because Pet G is known for stringing. And the very, very first thing I printed with my new Mosquito Magnum was a Pet G stringing test. And it had 0 stringing on it. It was like amazing. I was so happy. And then I printed something else in PLA and there was all sorts of stringing on it. I was like, "Urgh." With the thousands of printers with an E3D all metal hot end, you doubt it's the hot end's fault. Well, see, that's the thing. None of the hot ends is like, whether you use Micro Swiss, Mosquito, E3D, Nova, whatever you use, it's never the hot end's fault. Because they theoretically all work just fine. It's all in the settings you use. Like on my Mosquito, I was clogging like crazy because I was trying to I had like a 3mm retraction. I got rid of the retraction, it stopped jamming as much. Then I added an oiler, it stopped jamming mostly. And then I started printing slower and it stopped jamming completely. So I did not have any jams for like a week and a half, 2 weeks when I was printing in PLA. And then I start printing a friggin' Batman for Batman Day in black Pet G, and the extruder clogs. Not the hot end, the extruder. So it's like, if it has to do with 3D printing, I will break it. So any companies out there, you need anybody to test things that like break things so you can tell people what not to do, I gotcha. I
Maybe what
gotcha.
we've all got to work on is making it so that you can take your machines apart better. Because you're always going to have clogs. You're always going to have jams.
Yeah. And I will either even sell a certification logo for all you companies that'll let me test. It'd be like alien approved.
That's great.
alien tested. I have to design a flaw in the machine. No, Justin, it doesn't matter how hot I print. It's not in the hot end. It's in the extruder. The extruder is jammed. There's filament from here to here jammed in the extruder that I can't get out. I admit sometimes it is just the filament. Sometimes the filament is crap. And I do have to say that I love Filament One. They've been great to me and great to the UFO subscribers. The look of the filament's great. Filament One jams on both my printers, depending on how fast I print with it. I had to slow it down to like 50 millimeters a second for it to not jam.
Yeah, I've had some filament that's so far out of tolerance it was crazy. Jammed my machines every time I used it, and I used to take apart my hot ends and think it was that, take apart my extruder, and I found out it was the filament. And that happened with an American major brand, and then later it happened with the Chinese brand that everybody else was bragging about how great it comes out. I measured the filament; it was, over 2 millimeters.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm trying to come up with a project in the UFO. Spoiler, at some point ahead in UFOville. I'm trying to come up with a cheap enough way to measure the tolerance of filament as it's passing through, as well as the length. So that people can, because I've had printer companies tell me, well, it's impossible to test the diameter of a filament using calipers, because if you push too hard, then it's too low. If you don't push enough, it's too high. And then you have to think about some filaments as it's going through their extruder, it flattens it, so it's like an oval versus a circle, which in my opinion is bad anyways.
Yeah.
Because everything you print with from the hot end all the way through the whole system expects a round filament, not an oval filament. But yeah, after dealing with so many filament companies over the last year and a half, I've heard so many excuses and this and that. It's like, just do your filament justice, do it right.
And when there's a will, there's a way. If the company really put importance on it, they would find a way to resolve it.
Exactly. If a company cares, they're gonna do something.
Yeah, that's why I'm impressed with Prusament. They do the right thing, and you're pretty sure that that's got the tolerance that they're declaring.
Yeah. I would love to know how much an entire extruder line for Prusa is, what brand and stuff they use, and everything from the beginning to the end.
I mean, the extruder is not very expensive. You can get extruders, the same part as there is for injection machines used. That's nothing. It's all the rollers and rectifiers afterwards that, and spool winders that are going to take you time and setup.
Right. Yeah, but Sean, what I'm trying to do is, like, my current idea is to measure, kind of like using a the tool that was in last month's UFO, the dial indicator, but a digital dial indicator that works, that has like 2 rollers this way and 2 rollers this way, so you're getting a read from all sides of the filament, at least top and bottom, left and right. That will show the tolerance down to a micron as it's passing through, as well as measuring the filament as it's going through as far as its length. Because eventually there's been talk of a tie-in with Octoprint, so that when people are calibrating their extruder, that the device would say, hey, this much went through, after you told it to go through 100 millimeters, automatically do the calculations and then send it into Marlin for Marlin to correct itself. But that is still in development because I've yet to find a cheap enough sensor that can measure the diameter of a filament as well as the movement of a filament. Like I even talked to the sensor creators for Prusa, where they get their sensors for the filament detection, and even they told me they can detect if the filament is there. They cannot detect how much filament has passed through. Yeah, I'm thinking 50 to 100K minimum per line as well. Like I know somebody who has filament extruder, like the whole line, but they're like 10-year-old systems, and they're like basically Stone Age filament makers. And then I've been seeing because I really want to develop my own filament just because I want to experiment with a bunch of stuff that I've yet to see out there in the wild. But like the cheapest extruder line I found, I think was like $10,000.
Yeah, I think you get a pretty cheap extruder, especially used. All the other equipment that comes after it, that's what you really want to work on.
Yeah, that's where it was coming into.
Then you need a good chemistry lab too.
I mean, do you need a chemistry lab though, just to like? Because if I like pre-buy the pellets, the like PLA pellets, and then the coloring, there's only like, from what I've heard, there's only like one major supplier of colorant to 3D printing companies, which I found odd because why wouldn't more companies be providing colors?
Yeah. Why aren't you getting those from injection molding manufacturers, suppliers?
Yeah, because that injection mold, the color would be the same, right? The colorant would be the same whether it was injection or FDM.
I've got sample packets of every single type: pearlescent, luminescent, color change, metallics, all the different special effects you could do to injection mold pieces. I don't know why you can't do that. As long as it's a fine enough of an additive that it'll pass through your nozzle without clogging, you could add that to your filament.
That's interesting. Yeah, because I've talked to a couple 3D printing companies, and they've basically told me there's one major company that almost all filament brands get their colorant from, at least in the U.S. I don't know how they do it overseas, but. Hey, what's up, Jimmy? Yeah, CenturyLink is the absolute worst. That's who I have as well as my home internet provider. And because I live in the middle of nowhere, all they can give me is 10 down, 1 up on DSL. Not happening. Are you going to Orlando Maker Faire this year too?
We are planning on it. We're still trying to negotiate with them. They keep claiming that they have too many 3D print stands and they want other people in there. So
yeah, that's what they told me too. I got denied.
Yeah, they're crazy with it. But now we're talking about sponsoring something, and that might bring about an opening.
Oh, so basically they want you to pay for a slot.
Yeah, we have too many 3D printing stands. I don't think you could make it.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll see. We'd like to. I mean, I'd like to be part of the Florida community. That's where we are. And, it's not the most important fair, but it's a nice one.
Well, I'm wondering if Orlando Maker Faire was my very first maker type 3D printing type whatever fair I had been to since I got into 3D printing. So it was huge to me.
Yeah.
And then I went to Murph, and I'm like, holy cow! But that was all 3D printing.
Yeah.
But I tried to actually be a presenter at Orlando Maker Faire, and I got the dreaded, sorry, we have too many 3D printing. If any slots open up, we'll let you know. And I'm like, yeah, you jerks.
Yeah. Yeah. Melinda's been really working with trying to find a way for us to get in there. And we might have a way. We'll see. But if you want to come and join Wham Bam, Stan.
Well, I mean, I'm probably just going to do the same thing I did last year, and I'm going to bring some promo stuff and handouts and stuff, and just because I think Graybeard is going. I know Sholm from Askewed View has a table. Fun King 3D, I believe, has a table. Ron
has a table, yes.
Shoot, what's Ron's Twitter name?
Ron
the Happy Extruder. That's it.
Extruder.
So I'll probably just go and hang out with all of them again and do the thing. I have 6 down votes. You meanie heads. It's okay.
What for?
Oh, I don't know. It's like when you put up a YouTube video and you got the thumbs up and the thumbs down, and I don't. There's some people who watch the numbers on their things. Here's the thing: if people like me, cool. If people hate me, cool. I don't care. I do this for my own pleasure and for my own fun. If you don't like it, whatever.
Might be my presence. You guys let me know if you want me off.
No, it's not yours. It's like every single one of my live streams, I get some thumbs down, and it's just trolls. Just trolls. No, but I don't do this to make money. I don't do this to become famous. I'm just here to have fun, and if people like it, they like it. The thumbs up, thumbs down, they don't matter to me. The number of views, number of subscribers, it doesn't matter. I'm going to do my thing either way. So, where are you guys located at? I know you're in Florida, but like, do you guys have a storefront or?
Well, we kind of have a laboratory, and whenever somebody's down here, we welcome come in here. We are in Hollywood, Florida, which is between Miami and Fort Lauderdale. Not far from the beach. We have a storefront. It's a shared space with my product design firm, and a part of it is dedicated towards Wham Bam product development. Maybe next time I ever come on, I'll get this on an iPad so I can walk around and show non-secret stuff.
Okay, that works. That'll be another follow-up. I had Ziltech on here a couple weeks ago, and they're like, well, next time we'll do it from the warehouse, and we'll give you guys a tour of the warehouse. So this is the second follow-up company. You guys have to remind me.
Enough interest from your viewers, and let me know. I'll bring people around and show them the stuff we're working on. Like I said, we've got 4 FDM printers going, 2 resin printers going. We've got multiple surfaces. They're all different experiments. Some things I can show, some I can't. But happy to show what goes on behind the scenes.
Yeah, I think people love seeing behind the scenes, no matter what it is, really.
Yeah. By the way, I could grab 1 or 2 other things from the design firm that are kind of interesting. I showed you guys that little chair thing. I'll show you what became of that. It's kind of interesting because it's a whole different scale. So that is why we originally printed a $2,000 stereolithography chair. This is what we were talking about at the beginning of this discussion. Whoever came in late.
Right.
In the 1990s, when machines were millions of dollars, and to print something like that on SLA, it was $2,000 to verify it. And so this was a monoblock plastic chair for a startup company of mine, doing high design products for the like Home Depots, for the big box stores.
Mm-hmm.
This won a whole bunch of design awards, was incredible design books, and it cost $15 in the store. So wanted to use great design and structure and great mechanics to resolve something for the common person to be able to buy something for a low price in a big box store. And did this and did a number of other pieces of furniture for the garden for that company.
So you used to have to spend $2,000 for an SLA print,
and that took like 3 days.
So
I mean, it was
you're
coming out of the vat like this was nuts.
So your ROI at $15 a chair.
That this was to just verify that the form was on the right track. Of course, this was made with an 8-ton stainless steel mold for injection. Wow. It's got 60-second cycles. The material is injected into the mold, very hot polypropylene, and it's cooled, and the mold is opened, and it's ejected and reclosed in 60 seconds, which is quite a feat.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. Some of the stuff we work on. Do I print anything? I print everything for fun. You know, I'm fascinated by Fab 365's designs. I like how he designs for 3D printing. You guys know him?
Who's that?
Fab 365. He does all the things that you print flat and fold up.
Yeah, I've contacted him trying to get him to do a foldable alien model or something.
Yeah, he's real busy. It took him a long time to respond to some of my emails. He's busy, and English is not his mother tongue, so he uses a translator.
Yeah, so he's never replied to me.
It took me a lot of emails. Keep at it. But I think that it's cool that he designs for 3D printing. I mean, all of my life as an industrial designer, I've been doing this for 30 years. I had to design for injection molding or for metal bending or whatever else. And then when you start thinking about making things just for 3D printing, and that's what their end use is, I mean, it's pretty cool that you design for 3D printing. He does a great job. So I print a lot of his stuff, and then, of course, anything that my kids are into. If they're into Indiana Jones, I'll do everything in Indiana Jones. And then I print a lot of just household stuff. You know, if something breaks at home, or I want to fix something or make a new way to hold a towel in the bathroom, I'll make it up and print it. So I'm always printing. I'm always printing. I have a buddy just came to me next door. He wants to be able to mount a battery pack to his bicycle, and so he wants to go to the 2 water bottle attachments on the bicycle frames. You know, and then we're going to go over the top with. I'm going to eventually do a TPU sealed top. But that way he could have a battery pack on the bike to recharge his phone, his speakers, his lights. So the people just stop by, and I'll be like, yeah, I'll wing it together.
Now, what kind of mount did you have on that? Do you use it? Because it looked like it was shiny. Was it a bolt, or is that 3D printed as well?
Sticking through. So I put 2 screws, one in sort of an oval slot, one here. And then I have an access hole here, which I'll make some covers for. So you can at least, you know, get the hex key in there. And that's made for the distance of the threaded inserts on the bikes for the water bottles.
That's a pretty cool idea.
Put that on the down tube, put the battery in, and it has all the access ports available. Oh, no, I put it upside down, of course. The access ports available, the on-off button and the charging button. And then I'm going to print this one in TPU after, and I'll go over and seal it.
Seal it, yeah. Cool.
Yes, I'm just, you know, I'm working on stuff for my design firm, working on stuff for my own self, for WHAM, BAM, for the kids, and for friends. So there's always something.
Do you print at home, or do you just use resources at your lab?
Yeah, only at the lab. I mean, I used to have computers at my home, and then I'd work. I'm a workaholic, and if any of you guys ever write to customer service in Wham Bam, you'll notice that either myself or Melinda is responding at 3 in the morning. I'll do anything that can go on an iPhone, But I got my computers away, so I'm forced to go in the office if I have to do any work. So yeah, I would like to one day, once my kids are at the age that they're really designing in 3D and printing, I'll get them a printer for home. But
You're just gonna put them to work.
exactly, training up my army.
Yeah, I think one day I'm gonna have to come down and visit you. I think Hollywood's probably about a 6-hour drive for me or so.
Where are you?
I'm in Ocala.
Okay. You got it. Yeah, we'll put our brains together. We'll do something. It'll be fun.
Yeah, absolutely. It'd be awesome.
We could do a live broadcast.
Maybe we'll do an Alien After Dark from Wham.
I like Kit's comment of the biggest stool sample I've seen in a long time.
What's up?
Kit wrote, "That's the biggest stool sample I've seen in a long time."
Oh.
Meaning.
Kit's filling in for Brian Vines today.
Exactly.
Bringing out all the puns.
It's like that old horrible joke, "Hello, may I push in your stool?"
He puts John Max to shame. Oh my goodness. Y'all are ridiculous. Is Melinda still there? Would you like to join us, Miss Wham Bam?
Melinda, would you like to join? Are you there?
She's probably like, no way. I'm in my pajamas, getting ready for bed. Y'all are crazy.
Yeah. Melinda's got all hours of work like me. I'm an insomniac, and I just am always responding and working. And she just works through the night, most of the nights too. So she does her thing, I do mine. My family ages and interests. Robert's asking some stuff that's funny. So yeah, I had my first son when I was 45. So he's 9 years old now. And my second son is 5 years old. So I've got young ones. For a person my age, a lot of people my age have grandchildren already. Yeah, I need some UFOs. I moved my UFO box, my first one. I've got it. I've got to put it up there. But my kids, the last thing they asked me for were the Tron discs, and I made those light up discs. They were cool. I've done some Harry Potter wands. Sometimes I'll download stuff off of Thingiverse and print it. Sometimes I'll just design it myself and make it for them. Some of the things I design, I put up on my Thingiverse channel. I share most everything. If it's not something that's definitely going into Wham Bam for a reason, then I just share it.
Yeah, I've been lately trying to push everybody off of Thingiverse and to move to My Mini Factory or
Thingiverse is so damn slow. It's unbelievable.
It's just, and I don't think they care. And I think the only way we're going to be able to make them care and realize is if people stop using them. And I posted about it the other day on Twitter. Is like, I think everybody should remove their models off of Thingiverse.
That's a good point. I follow that lead.
And then they'll realize that, hey, something's going on here. Maybe we should fix our crap. Yeah. So people will come back to us.
It's the worst, most archaic interface. Logging in every single time is such a pain in the rear from phone. It's so slow. Everything about it's ridiculous.
Yeah,
I'd go with movement. I wasn't able to storm Area 51, so I'll go with you.
Yeah, they haven't invested anything into it for years, and that's why I think that's why everybody should remove their models off of it, move over to like My Mini Factory or Cults 3D, and maybe they'll realize that they need to invest some time and money into it to get it back up to speed. Because it's just, anyway.
Lately, most companies that just have problems don't care. We've seen so many companies not responding to their problems. Whether it's Simplify 3D, whether it's Thingiverse, whether it's PayPal. It's kind of crazy. If you got a problem and your customers are speaking up, act on it.
Greg, what do you mean is my mini factory kind of spammy though? I haven't got any spam from them. Um, I put my stuff on there. Of course, they have stuff for sale, and then they have the free modelers, and all the cool modelers that I follow have free. And um, as far as their email spam, I believe you can opt out of it. But I don't. I get like one email a week from them, and that's it. And it's showing like the latest models or contests or stuff going on. But I have talked to some of the people behind my mini factory, and I, even though obviously every company is out to make money, so obviously they want to make money, but I also think that they truly care about the service that they provide. Um, I think they want to make sure that people are happy with the experience at their website. And I like the fact that all the free models, they have a group of people that they pay, and I personally know some people that they pay to test print all the models that are put up on my mini factory, the free ones anyways, to test printability. And I think that's really cool as well. I used to like Cults 3D, but I absolutely, absolutely, absolutely cannot stand their 2D viewer of the model. It's ridiculous. So I stopped using them just for that reason. Well, Greg, I mean, they do, like, if you go to their site, they do have the premium models section, and then they have the free model section. Um, and anybody, like, most of the people that I print are Juka. He's on my mini factory, and he has some amazing models. What's that guy that does a lot of superhero busts? Shoot, what the heck's his name? I know you guys know who I'm talking about. I think all my superhero busts are out in the living room. But I don't know. A lot of the big name people are, yeah, Eastman. That's it. Good job. Um, he's on my mini factory, and there's a lot of people. Fotis is on there. Yeah, there's a lot of people that are out there. Wexter, I think Wexter, a lot of his models are on my mini factory, but he also has some paid ones. I don't know if his paid ones are on my mini factory. I know he does ones that are only for his Patreon as well, or he gives them free to his Patreon and then charges them on my mini factory. One of the two.
I also like that guy that does everything with the ZBrush, all the little skulls and Aztec stuff. What's his name? I'm having a brain fart now too.
What does he do? Tabletop minis or something?
No, a lot more like figurines with all the detail on it, kind of like this, but I don't think this is his. But with all the little.
Oh yeah.
Zane, looks... oh, thank you, 3D Tanning. There we go. Zane's pretty cool. Zane Rogers. Yep. You guys guess it. He didn't do this one, did he?
I think I was looking at that one the other day because I was looking for a skull to print in the Warrior Red, Knights Warrior Red.
That's pretty beautiful.
No, that particular skull, I actually saw it the other day. It's not Chaos Cortec either. I'm afraid to do anything on the internet right now because it'll mess with up my video. But and I know on my mini factory, if you go search for was it decorative skulls or something like that, it shows up. What did I just do? I was just doing. Shoot, where'd my wrench go? I don't know.
Show you guys something else that I did for my Etsy shop. If anybody's interested, this is a pen holder, chalk pen, a suction cup that goes to your bathroom mirror. You can leave a message on the mirror, like with a lipstick message, and then when you're done, you even have this.
That's funny.
Built in. So it's a throwback to the lipstick messages. So,
that's funny.
I think it'll go well for Valentine's Day and such.
That is funny.
Yeah, put one up at home, and the kids had to leave a message to their mom every single night.
It's cute.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to get one of those for sure. Is it just dry erase marker? I'm guessing.
Oh, I tried dry erase. It was fun. We experimented with everything, with wax pens, dry erase. They don't work well on mirrors and glass. So there's actually these chalk pens. These are for those menu boards that light up.
Oh, okay.
Right, a marker, like one of those, ink pen markers. But when it dries, it just is like chalk. You could dust it off, basically. So,
right.
Cool.
Now, is that model downloadable, or is that something you're just making for?
I made this from my Etsy store, so I didn't share it. Maybe I'll make a version that's downloadable, but then again, I'll just find somebody else selling my design. I don't know.
Yeah, that's the thing. I noticed a lot of people, they come up with designs, and even if they put it as non-commercial.
Yeah. So I did this for a while. Then I saw somebody selling it. This was a stand for the pop socket phones. This one is really funky because my my belt tensioner on the x-axis broke, and so all those zigzag lines were because the belt went slack, but it's still printed. And
it kind of makes it look like a wicked design, like it was meant to do that.
It's kind of bizarre. I really want to figure out how to imitate that. But yeah, no, the ones without this error are also on my Etsy store, and I had shared the design, but then I saw somebody selling them. So the things that are going on Etsy, I'm not sharing. Unfortunately.
Yeah, there's a huge problem with model theft in the industry, and what gets on my nerves also is like you get these 3D printing printer companies that make 3D printers, and then they print people's designs, or they sell filament. Yeah,
they show the design in the publicity.
Right, but they don't credit the designer. And that always gets on my nerves. And there was a filament company that I was working with, and they sent me like 20 rolls of filament to test. And then 2 days after I got the filament, they got into it on Twitter with Luby. And everybody who is in 3D printing knows Luby. And so the second that they got into it with Luby, if they would have been like, "Oh, we're sorry, let us fix the problem," I'd have been like, "Cool." But instead, they turned it around like Luby was the bad guy, and that they owed Luby nothing. And I was like, "All right, well, peace out. I'm not working with you guys." I mean, you just gotta treat people with respect, period. And if you're not going to do that, then I'm not going to work with you.
We're in a community which is strange because, first of all, there's so much open sourcing that people take it for granted that everything's open source and shareable and copyable, which is not.
Right.
Then second of all, a lot of our machines are made in China where they don't have the same respect for IP and proprietoryship. And so everybody just started doing it within the community, whether they're selling hardware on their websites and the hardware is a direct copy of somebody else, they don't give them credit or whatever. There's plenty of people out there doing it, and everybody thinks it's okay. And it takes somebody like Disney putting their foot down and saying, you can't just, print our characters and not give us the credits for the rights or pay the licensing fee. But all the little guys are screwed.
Well, I tried to get a Disney licensing fee once, and they said you have to be a manufacturer for at least, I think, 5 or 10 years in business as a manufacturer for at least 5 to 10 years before they would even consider selling a license to you.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, at the time I was like just starting, so I was like, yeah, I can't do that, but maybe my Alien 3D could be considered a manufacturing company, so in another 3 years I can try to sell Disney stuff. Michael Cassell, if you know is it the Adelinda dragon? I think it's the Adelinda dragon, if I'm saying that right. Like everybody has seen this dragon. It's got the wings out front and the nose is coming up and it looks like it's singing. Yeah, and then there's the Aria. Aria's the newer one. Yep, Louise Diggers.
Yeah, which one was the pen holder? The girl that was the pen holder? That was hers as well, right?
I know Juka did one that had the girl in the lake with the sword. But I think Luis did a pen holder. Yeah, the sorceress. That's it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Luis did the sorceress.
I think that was Elise, right? It's a beautiful model.
Yeah, the Wolf Song. She also designed the Snow Labs penguin. You thought it was catching jelly beans? Yeah, she's got a lot of cute models out there that have gotten a lot of good reception. Yeah, she was at Murph too, and it was funny. She had created a model of the jackalope, and I told her that I wanted to do, if she ever did a video, I wanted to do the voice for it. And I'd just be like, as fast can be, you'll never catch me. And she just laughed and walked away. Pretty sure she thought I was weird, but whatever. I thought it was funny. Vampire jackalope. That's just the Stitch voice now? Oh my goodness. Yeah, I can do Stitch too. I used to be able to do Marvin the Martian really good. Then as I got older, I couldn't do the deeper, weird voices. I tell you what, though, Murph lost me money because it was a long trip and I had to rent a trailer for the giant alien and everything, and then the hotel rooms and everything, and it didn't boost any subscription count, didn't boost any sales or anything. But I tell you what, the notoriety I got for having that 9-foot alien with the lights next to my table, Like I contact companies now, and if I talk to them at Murph while I was there, or if they were at Murph, I was like, "Hey, I was the guy with the giant alien," and they're like, "Oh yeah, that was so cool. How can we help you?" And I'm like, "I need this," and they're like, "We gotcha." It's pretty much how I got some of the mothership prizes over the last 6 months. My trailer helped you find your car. That's pretty funny. Yeah, those signs on the back of my trailer were a last minute thing. I was packing up and I was ready to go, and I was like, you know what? I need signs. So I ran into my house. I grabbed some cardboard, and I just put Murph or bust, and then I drew like a little UFO, and I put UFOs inside, and I just taped it all up. It was just a last minute decision. I was hoping people would like honk or something while they were going by, but I didn't get any honks on my way. I want to make my car look like a spaceship. I want to get like vinyl siding and stuff, make it look like a spaceship with like a metallic alien 3D logo stamped into the doors, and like some rusted airports and stuff.
That'd be very cool.
Box project idea: ray gun that shoots green silly string. I mean, that's possible. Why are you face palming, woman? It's gonna happen. I'm gonna do it to your car too. It's gonna be Rogue 1 and Rogue 2. Yeah, that is funny. When Murph was announcing their 2020 event, they used my trailer in a couple of their picture posts. Michael Cassell, that's an awesome idea for the next sign. Honk or get probed. Definitely. Yeah, Buildy, it's basically gonna be a wrap. Like I had what was it? There's like this spray. They call it spray something or other. Um, but the guy quoted me like $5,000 just to do a green spray thingy on it, and to turn the color green. But it was like a rubbery type substance, and it could get scratched, and had like a like 2-year max warranty on it or something. I was like, I want something a little more permanent.
You need a trunk you could open up and bright green light comes out like there's something mysterious. You ever see Repo Man? It's like
I haven't in a long time.
Yeah, there's that alien in the trunk of the car. You know, it's pretty cool.
You know what would that actually makes me think. I could like put some green LEDs and make it like a bright green every time you open it. But also, you know how they have them vinyl pullouts? So like do it so when you open the back, it's got this vinyl pullout of an alien.
Yeah.
Right there that you can just unclip.
Something coming out for a second. A quick look. Looks like Michael knows what we're talking about. The old Ford Pro. There you go. That was Emilio Estevez, Repo Man. And
I thought that was the garbage truck guys. Emilio Estevez was in the garbage truck one.
Emilio Estevez was the main guy in Repo Man.
He was probably maybe in both of them then.
Maybe. And there was Harry Dean Stanton.
Yeah, Michael, I was actually considering for the October UFO doing one of those hand grabs where you like flip the switch and the hand comes out and turns it back off. Then you flick it and it turns it back off. but instead I went with the dagger. And then I've got to start. I don't know what to do for the November project yet. I have to do something better than last year's. Either that or I can make my November project my gag project every year. Because last year was the absolute worst possible project you could even imagine, and it was ugly, and I still apologize to this day, and everybody tries to make me feel better, be like, oh no, it was cool, it was cute, it was blah. It sucked, people. I know it, I admit it, I apologize. But maybe November will be my gag project every year. Who knows? Yeah, my ugly turkey timer. And then December, if I can work it out, I think it'll be really cool. I think it may even top last year's. No, there's no way it could top last year's. I'm pretty sure last December project was my favorite project so far. It was designed by Brian Vines, and it was an ice skating rink. And he created this gearing system that worked off a gear motor, so that there were magnets and ice skaters on top. And as the magnets went around, 6 little ice skaters danced around the ice on top. I think that's one of my most favorite projects. All right, guys, so we are 30 minutes away from ending stream. You guys have any more questions for Peter at WHAM, or Melinda if she's still watching, or me?
I might duck off early too, so please do shoot your questions out.
Oh yeah, I did. You did say that you probably wouldn't be here the whole time. I was actually looking at the clock about 15 minutes ago, and I was surprised you had stayed this long, because I know you had to get back out to doing stuff. You still have those magnets stuck to the hood. Why are they stuck to the hood of your car, Danny? Oh my goodness. Did you put the little ice skater people on them? Robert, thank you for all the questions tonight. I think Robert asked more questions than anybody. You guys are slacking, my normal people. You guys are here with me every night, and you didn't have enough questions. You put them on once and haven't bothered removing them yet. That's funny. They were just tiny little magnets too, so. Build definitely. And if you haven't got the code yet, for 4 days, it expires on September 26th. Code Alien After Dark. Get 10% off at WHAM.
Thanks to Josh.
And their link is under the video, so in case you don't know how to get to them, there is a link under the video. And not thanks to me, thanks to you and Melinda. I highly appreciate you coming on tonight. I mean, I know, like, I need to plan out better who my visitors are going to be, because I just literally like, hey, you want to come on my show tonight? Sure, why not? Make it a little less spur of the moment. Though I do think next week I already have it planned. Chris from Venturi 3D is supposed to be here with me. I have to double check with him.
Seeing all you guys with your kits that you need to build, get them built and try out the Wham Bam. There you go. Chris says yes.
Oh, I thought you cut out earlier, Chris. Awesome, awesome. So, yep, Chris from Venturi 3D will be here next week.
Robert, I thank you for the kind words.
Tanny, you have 2 flex plates and your ender machines aren't built yet. What the heck? You better have that Sidewinder built too. I want to see pictures of that going up soon. Gosh darn it. That's nice about my show. The fact that it's completely unorganized, Jimmy. No, but I like when I came up with Alien After Dark, I was like, you get the other streamers that stream with people on their show, and it's really formal, and I just want to have a hangout with companies, hang out with people, my guests, BS and shoot the shit. Yep, you help. You helped me come up with ideas. Was it last week or the week before I did an open mic night? I just had anybody who wanted to come in and chit chat. It was funny. Chris from Venturi popped in that night too. Yeah, I have Chris. Let me see, what's the schedule look like? So I have Chris on the 29th, which means I've got one more on the 6th before I leave on the 8th to head to... Holy cow, I've only got 2 weeks left to prep for Earth.
I know. It's getting tight.
Time flies.
We were holding off on making all our graphics till we know what products we're bringing, so we got to rush.
Holy cow.
That's the Wham Bam line.
Calling for customer support. And they're like, we know you're there, Peter. We see you on Josh's stream.
I can't pretend I'm not.
Answer the phone.
Too late to call me a Wham Bam. Oh, damn. Oh,
that's so funny.
Sorry, if you're watching, you're just going to have to wait.
Call on Monday. They open at 8.
They hung up early. Bill, keep us posted on all the installs. Very excited to hear.
Yeah, Bill posts a lot to Twitter. Bill's one of my very few subscribers who has been there from the beginning.
Wow.
I think my very first month I had 8 subscribers. I sent out 18 boxes, but only 8 subscribers. 10 of them were promo boxes, and I think only 4 or 5 of the originals are still subscribers. Corporate accounts payable, Mimi speaking. Just a moment. I love that movie. Office Space. This is the 3rd time you've moved my desk. I'm gonna catch a building on fire. Yeah, Tanny, excuses. Go back in time, build the time machine, and sign up. Chris, you work in an office like that? Man, I worked in an office like that, and That's when I really decided that I was not a corporate ant, not a worker bee. Since I got out of the Army, I've worked at one corporate work, and then one that was a startup company. And I can't work for other people because other people drive me crazy. It was like the one company I moved out to Texas, right? I worked with them for a year and a half remotely, and they're like, "Why don't you come visit us out in Texas?" I was like, "All right, cool." So I drove out to Texas to hang out with them for a week, and while I was there, they're like, "Hey, we'd like to offer you a partnership with the company, and we'll pay you this much money." I was like, "Okay, sweet." I moved out to Texas, bought a $300,000 house, and 9 months later, the company went out of business. But also during that time, they were doing some shady stuff that me as a partner, they weren't listening to me. Me as the project manager, they weren't listening to me for things that I told them not to do and what I thought was wrong and blah, blah, blah. And they weren't listening to me. And so they went out of business. And but they were marketing a one-handed keyboard, and this lady brought them basically the design, and she was being very hard to work with. And then the patent expired on her one-handed keyboard design, so the company that I was working for made just enough tweaks to where that if she repatented it, it wouldn't be covered under her patent. And then they started taking pre-orders for a one-handed keyboard that they didn't even have a working prototype for. And they took like $200,000 in pre-orders, and from people who were like military veterans who like had lost an arm in wars and this and that, and disabled people. And I was like, you guys have to stop doing this. You have to stop. No, I'm not for this at all. And they took like $200,000 in pre-orders, and then 3 months later went out of business.
Yeah.
And I was so mad. They still owe me $45,000 actually, but I'm never gonna see it. And it was 5 years ago. But and then the other corporate company I worked at was in Dallas as well. I'd go in there 8 to 5 every day, and it'd take me 2 hours to drive into work and 3 hours to drive home. And like you go at 11 o'clock at night, and it would take me 30 minutes to get there. But the traffic during the mornings and afternoons was just ridiculous. But it was a big corporate office, probably like 100 employees, and everybody was so stick up their butt. I just couldn't do it.
I'm going to butt in and cut out 15 minutes early.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was just BSing.
I thank you for
thank you so much for coming on, and thank you for telling us and sharing about your company. I know you haven't done any streams before, so thank you for letting me be the first.
Absolutely. Hopefully next time I come back, it'll be with some more new products, so we'll be able to get more into that.
Yeah, that would be awesome, and definitely looking forward to that tour.
Yeah. Earth, come and visit us, hang out, and talk. Love to
Absolutely. It's 2 weeks, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20 more days until Earth is open to the public.
Yes.
So go see WHAM, bring your WHAM shirt. First 10 people get 50% off anything at WHAM. Yeah. That's pretty huge discount.
Raffles. We'll be giving away a lot of stuff, including an Ender 3 Pro on Sunday.
Sweet.
Bill and Jimmy, thanks. And yeah, use that coupon code today if anybody wants it. Bye, Stephen. Thank you.
Yep. Alien After Dark, 10% off for the next 4 days at WHAM. Link is under the video. Thank you, Melinda, for coming in and making the code and sharing the info.
Doing all the backroom stuff. Thanks, Melinda. Bye, guys. Thanks, Josh. Thank you.
Yeah. Have a good one, Peter. Thank you. So we got 15 more minutes, and then we're going to cut off, and maybe a skewed view will be streaming tonight. Your dad started your business full-time in 1998, and you took over in 2013. That's awesome. I'm sure you've probably mentioned it before, and I have the worst memory ever, which is why I have Rosa keep track of everything for me. What does your company do again, Michael? I swear I'll remember one day. I'm sorry. I'm the worst. I am the worst. Shulman Sons was earlier. Did he go on early? Did he change his time? And not tell me? Because, like, that was the whole thing of me ending at 9 was because Shulman Sons was at 9. You have a sign shop and you make stickers. Well, when I need, I'm going to contact you for stickers, Michael, because I've been buying stickers from every which way that I could find the best deal. Like 1 week it's from one company, the next month it's from another company, because each month each one has different sales. I also need a sign too. I don't know what kind of signs you do. Yeah, like for real. If anybody knows anybody who does neon signs, hang on, can I make me? I can't make me like little. Why can't I make me little, StreamYards? I know what I can do. Hang on, brand, overlay, upload. Demon, Alien After Dark, boom. I can do it as an overlay. So, a neon alien 3D UFO would be really cool. Or even like my logo. That's a little complicated though. Let me see if I can put some black background behind it. That's a bit complicated for a neon sign. Have a good one, Robert. Thank you so much for stopping in. You broke your extruder body trying to force a hidden nut into a pocket. Ouch. Now, for those of you who have built Prusas, are they as complicated to put together as the instructions make it look like? Aren't you allergic to nuts, Chris? Isn't that why you hate hidden nuts? No, they're not that as complicated. And I do want to show you guys for the record that I was able to push, shoot, is that light on? No, that light's not on. I was able to push the filament out this way with this drill bit. I don't know if y'all noticed that I was fiddling with something during the stream. But for some reason, I can't get it to push all the way through out the top. So I think there's something wide on there. So I gotta find my snips. The snip is snips. To cut the tip off, and then maybe I can push it through out the top. And then hopefully, I guess it wouldn't matter if I damaged this hole. It's just filament passing through, right? Should be alright. Oh my goodness. You got a new headset finally? Oh, good, Tanny. Maybe this week you can actually, pop on and talk instead of sounding like you're in a closet with a wonky connection. No, but when I first got into 3D printing, everybody said that the Prusa MK3 was the best damn printer since the wheel. And I printed out parts in 3DX Tech Xenomorph. It was the coolest green I could find at the time. I printed all the Prusa parts because I planned on getting one. And then I never got one. And then I got a 300 by 300 by 400 Sidewinder. And I was like, holy cow, this thing prints big. And it prints bigger than my 235 by 235 bed printers. And so I was like, all right, I'm never buying a printer again that's less than a 300 by 300 by 300 build volume. So that cuts out the Prusas. If they do a larger build volume, maybe. But by then I'll have my own printer that I'm building. The Alien 3D UFO Delta, the Alien 3D Tesseract, and the Alien 3D crap, I can't remember the name of it. Incubator. There we go. The Alien Incubator. Your 2.5S was, and then Xenomorph? Yes! So somebody has a Xenomorph printer out there. Like, for real, hasn't the Prusa printer over the years basically stayed the same as far as the build size and the shape and everything? They've just basically upgraded the features? You like peanut butter, but not peanuts. They're not making sense of it. Yeah, but here's the thing, Lightspeed. I've heard people with Prusas who have had nothing but problems with them over and over and over again. And then I've had people who say their Prusas have worked great nonstop forever. And then I've heard from people that they work sometimes, they don't work sometimes. Who has... I have your full attention. I didn't have your full attention before? Let me guess. You're home. And Emmykins went night-night. And she didn't tell me goodnight, so now I'm sad and I'm going to cry. You can tell her that. Are you talking about Colin? Poor Colin. People cause their own problems with Prusas. Well, I tell you what, I am going to try my gosh darndest to Wait. What do you mean Shane about to be no longer from Prusa? What happened? What did I miss? Holy frick, did I miss Twitter war again today? The other day I hear that BuildTak chick is no longer working for BuildTak. Kayla. Shane's leaving Prusa? What is this 3D printing world coming to? BuildTak chick's no longer from BuildTak. Shane from Prusa's no longer from Prusa. What the flying rats patootie is going on? Deltas are fun, but a drag to level. Look, Jeremy, I don't like deltas. I don't want a delta. I don't want to build a delta. I don't want to own a delta. But I got harassed by so many people for a UFO delta that I have one in design. Even though it's probably a joke harassment and nobody really wants a delta. I'm going to make one just to say, hey, UFO delta. Boom. Buy it. No, but seriously, I am going to try my gosh darndest to put out a printer that is a workhorse and dependable and has features that people like and can count on. And I will be the next Prusa. And from the sounds of it, since my I don't think the Tesseract's going to be ready. I think the incubator is going to be ready before the UFO Delta or the Tesseract. From the sounds of it. I still have to discuss with the designer, who I'm not sure if he wants me to make him public. He can tell me if so. If not, then is my top secret designer. You built one and you're still working on the level? Babe, you should know who. You should. Because I told you. Yeah, for the incubator. .3D Fused is doing the Tesseract. Chris Lane has come up with a design for the frame for the UFO Delta, but I've got to figure out all the moving parts, which won't happen until after Earth. And then the alien incubator is being designed by somebody else. And as far as I know, it's mostly done and already buildable. Maybe Ryan, but I'm not saying unless he says it's okay. But there's 27 people in chat right now. You can already rule Rosa out. She ain't designing a printer. She doesn't know her hot end from her extruder. Yeah. Mother brain from the original Metroid. Or what's the brain's name from Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles? Krang, that's it. Yeah, I've gotta totally work out the delta movement stuff. Like in my head, I have it worked out for the most part. Yeah, in my head. And then I've got to look at other Delta printers to make sure that mine's different enough to so people can't say I'm copying them. Well, here's the thing, Mr. Buttram. What if the part cooling fan looked like a UFO and the fan blades like blew down into the part cooling fan? I don't know. I gotta figure out the whole UFO aspect of it. The Artemis is a point and shoot printer. So you just hook it up and go. Well, here's the thing. The Duet is like I don't know. I have to make things cheap enough to be competitive. Like if I make a Delta, it's going to have like a minimum 250 300 build volume. Cuz I just refuse to do small printers anymore. So it's going to have a minimum of a 250, but more probably 300 by 300 by 300 build volume. And it has to be under $1,000. And it will not be 9 foot tall. Because, like, think about it. If this is my 300 by 300 by 300 print volume, right? Then all I need is twice the height. So it'll only be that tall that you can't see my hand. So it's not going to be 9 feet tall. Because in my head, I have it worked out to where I don't need a 9 foot tall printer to do a 300 millimeter thingamabobber. Yeah, about 4 feet. Your Delta is 240 by 650. Like, is that the print volume is 240 by 650? Have a good one, Chris Freeze. Thank you for stopping by. Everybody go follow Inspired 3D. But Chris Galetta, why would you need more than twice the height? Like, theoretically, because you have to, like, what are you OCDing about, babe? The print volume is 650. So holy cow, how tall is that thing? That thing's probably about 9 foot tall. $310 by $500. That thing's. I don't know. I'm gonna work it out. Don't worry. The print height plus the diameter plus the frame. That sounds about right. You have access to my calendar, babe. Yeah, aliens have tiny feet. Rosa would die if she saw my room right now. Like, this is all I show on camera. And those are just all failed prints right there. Wait. Those are failed prints and oh wait. Damn it. I meant to wear this. Hang on, guys. Wait, how the heck does this thing hook? Okay, like that. Somebody told me that I wasn't professional enough. So I went and I found my Dungeons and Dragons tie. And I was going to ask if this is professional enough. Have a good one, Jimmy. Enough turtle enough for the turtle club. Turtle. Where did I get it? It was in a loot crate. Most of my geek stuff came from was loot crate. For reference. Alright, that link is now open for later tots. If we get married, that's not allowed? Why? I'm not allowed to wear a bow tie to our wedding? What? I have a Looney Tunes tie too that you already told me I wasn't allowed to wear. Why not this one? It's nice and pretty. And it's easy to put on. I don't have to like fiddle with stuff and tie it and things. Welcome back, Chris. Oh my goodness. A 3D printed ooze green bow tie. There we go. There's the deal. I don't know. Being made out of plastic, though, that thing would probably stab the heck out of my neck and my chin. And I don't know about a 3D printed bow tie. That is awesome, Michael Cassell. Oh, yeah, TPU tie. But no, then it wouldn't be my ooze unless I got a TPU ooze. Who made me think what's going to be green? Wait, what? You'll talk to Yi tomorrow. Now chat's not allowed to pick colors. Chat's not allowed to pick our kids' names. Man, you guys are just getting shot down for everything. I have no idea what chucks are. Is that some kind of formal thing? Is it shoes that have to do with Chuck Norris? Old style tennis shoes. Okay. Superhero shirts do seem pretty awesome, though. Rosa doesn't know it yet, but I'm going to wear a suit from Beauty and the Beast. The Beast suit. I have a big lion's mane on. Dyed bright green. And then we'll have karaoke at the after party. Tale as old as time. Giant hairy lion wig. I know, right, Kit? Sheesh. The birds probably wouldn't eat PLA pellets. Y'all are gonna get me in trouble. I'm gonna get so many texts after stream's over. Oh shoot, it's after 9 o'clock. Let me double check that Sholm's not streaming. Oh my goodness, Old Navy commercial. Duh. Duh. Wait, he streamed 2 hours ago? So he streamed while I was streaming. And then he got on to me for going over my stream time because it overlapped with him. Are we live streaming the wedding too? That's a very good idea, babe. Let's take a vote. How many people want us to stream our wedding? Oh, there's a StreamYard town hall on? See? Everybody says stream it, babe. You brought it up. You so brought it up. Somebody screenshot that. Save it for later when she denies it. Oh my goodness. It was your idea, babe. You can't deny it now. No takebacks. According to StreamYard, I've got 23 people watching, so there's 23 witnesses. 22 witnesses, not counting you. And now she's messaging me that she's going to F me up. It was your idea, babe. No takebacks. We'll have all the groomsmen beatboxing. And the bridesmaids singing. Yeah, see, babe, you said you're shy and you want a lot of people at our wedding anyway, so we just have one person with a phone streaming it. Just me, you, and beatboxing groomsmen and I'll design Arduino controlled PLA pellet throwers so people can just trigger it from the website, push a button, and they're like throwing PLA pellets at us remotely. And each PLA pellet controller has like a camera on it, so like people can like view like they're there on their screens. Because there's a lot of introverts in 3D printing and makerspace. They don't like being in public anyways. So we just make everybody their own little PLA pellet throwing web device. And it can be on a little motor that turns back and forth so everybody can turn and look at each other's little PLA pellet throwing robots. And then turn towards us and turn and watch you walk down the aisle. We got this, guys. We got this. And girls. Sorry. We got this, people. We got this, aliens. Party people. Hashtag PLA pellet cannons. Oh, goodness. Nope, that's not Peter. That's Melinda. At least I'm fairly certain. She controls all the social media stuffs. Chris, you're so gonna be in the doghouse. Oh goodness. Oh, she's agreeing with it. Oh my goodness. Y'all are so ridiculous. Oh my goodness. Y'all are too much. All right. Let's. God, my back is hurting. Let's spend the next 9 minutes because I will end stream at 9:30 because I've got to go potty. And so this is the film that was stuck in my extruder. Question is, why did it get stuck in my extruder? No, that's the fail core extruder. Like it was stuck in here. Now my Sidewinder actually has been printing pretty gosh darn good. I printed all 7 parts of the next thingamabobber. All these thingies. But I do have some problems. Not exactly with the printer, but so these things I printed like this, and I made it add supports because it had an overhang right here. And my Sidewinder, I don't really have yeah, the Bontex jams stuff up really good for show. But I don't really have the Sidewinder dialed in. I just let it do its own thing. And the supports are fused to the bottom layer. And I actually printed one, and I went to rip them off, and I ripped off the bottom layer. Hey, what's up, Devin? See, it's a great bow tie, right? It's a Dungeons and Dragons bow tie, by the way. I'm classy now. Hey, catch you later, Michael Cassell. I appreciate you coming by. So, not quite sure how I'm going to get off all these supports on 7 parts without breaking everything. I may have to go get some more sharp objects. Rosa says I'm not allowed to wear it to our wedding. She also says we're not allowed to stream our wedding, even though it was her idea. Butai. Oh my goodness. I've also discovered that needle nose pliers without the little rubber grip thingies, they kind of hurt. No, you didn't miss the live stream proposal. Ow. But she did bring it up. Just saying. It was her idea to live stream the wedding. We have screenshotted proof. All right, so it's doing it on this one too, so I'm gonna have to be super careful. But if you can see, as I pull off this stuff, it's trying to pull off the layer that's over here. And grr. Bill Devine has proof. It's screenshotted. Live streaming the wedding. And it was her idea. And there's no takebacks. And then Devin. Oh, Devin's a robot maker. Devin, we need you to make little portable web streaming camera people that can turn and look at each other. Just cameras that have PLA pellet shooters. No, PLA pellet cannons that can toss PLA pellets instead of rice. And maybe cannons would be bad because they might hurt. So what if there was an arm that came back and it would like 10 pellets would fall out into it, and then it would catapult. And then as it comes back down, it lifts up like 10 more pellets out of a bucket that roll down in. Oh wait, I'm off camera. So it there's a cup down here in a bowl of PLA pellets. And as it lifts down or goes down, this cup picks up PLA pellets that then roll down into another cup. And then they toss them. And it picks back up and rolls them up, tosses them. That'll work, right? So we'll have PLA pellet trebuchets that turn and look at each other to see all each other's visitors. Should they have LCD screens on top of them with people's faces? Like, beep. Oh, hi, Kit. Beep. Hi, Devin. We got this. One pellet at a time fired from a CO2 powered barrel. Yeah, that's called a pellet gun, and they hurt. Or a paintball gun. Don't tell Rosa, but I'd be all in favor of paintball guns at the wedding. Just saying. If you do that, you have one request. Yeah, but those are expensive, and they're iPads, and I'm anti-crapple. So you have to have a complete do-it-yourself DIY solution. Hand out safety glasses? Well, they don't hand out safety glasses at weddings when they're having rice or bird seed thrown at them. And I'm not saying pelt them like a baseball pitcher. I'm just saying like a light toss. But the people in the back have to be able to throw harder. Once again, not your wedding. What do you mean it's not your wedding? What? That's too much safety, Devin. I'm a non-safety glasses wearer. I'm the type of guy that goes outside to take a saw and saw through plywood and goes. Oh shit! Got a piece of my hand. Yeah, that's me. And people shouldn't be pelting the rice. They should be lightly tossing the rice or birdseed. The people who pelt people with the rice and the birdseed, those are jerk faces. All right, come on, people in chat. I know there's somebody out there. Some PLA probably is rice-based, to be honest with you. Have a good one, Chris. Catch you later. Y'all are ridiculous. Ridiculous. All right, so what was I doing? Oh, yeah, I put it back over there because it was breaking. I think that's over there. I don't know. It's time to go. Oh, shoot, it's 9:30. All right, everybody. It's been super fun tonight. Thank you guys. Thank you, WHAM, for coming. I appreciate you. Yeah, if you can make it with corn, you can make it with rice, I'm sure. But anyways, time to head out. Thank you guys so much for showing up. Thank you guys so much for sticking around for the last 3 hours. Hit my thumbs up thing below and get rid of the thumbs down peoples. Not that I really care, but Chris Colado likes to bring it up. But anyways, thank you guys so much. Thank you to my awesome mods. Thank you to my amazing subscribers. Thank you to my beautiful girlfriend. You guys are all the best. I love you, babe. Peace out.